this is one where it's been an inside day for ARM, which the only thing you could do is play the range that was available to you. Simply, I actually thought we'd see 58 if we broke to the downside today, but there's your 62 bounce. It was a flat bottom break at the open. That was the one and only trade I made on ARM today, was kind of at the open to wait for it to break. It's like once, twice, thrice. It broke down, got out in front of 62, and I was favoring a break back out to the long side, to be honest with you. I thought we'd do the same thing as the afternoon. Like, it made the bottom at 62, didn't go long. I thought we'd just be breaking out this top. That never materialized. It ended up being short again at 65. And to its credit, ARM has churned 60 million shares, all at 20% higher than the IPO price on a day where the market's down 2%. So, you know, it has been a short since the open, but really it is holding up much, much better than the overall market. I think most people would be surprised if you had polled most people last week and said this is what the first 2 days would look like if the market was down, and they'd have said you're crazy. ARM would go right back down to the IPO price based on valuation. Not true. So I think this bodes really well for Instacart next week.
Yeah, look, ARM's going to be the #1 stock today. I think ARM or Amazon. I mean, Amazon right now, I reshorted it. You know how I'm doing it, Obi. Right there. But ARM, yeah, man, we'll stay short. We've been tweeting this out the whole time. We're short Amazon right now at 140.93. But right here, ARM, you know, short early on that 65 break, bang, right to 62. Shorted it again. We did get stopped out a little bit, but then just reshorted it like we always do. And then right back in this name. I think the short is going to be here for the day on this name here. Amazon, we just talked about that rate a little bit now. We just reshorted this. We had a couple nice ones here. I got to get some more out here because the market is coming back down right now. But there's a short there at 141. We actually took this live on the show with these guys, with Obi and them. There's the out, and then there's the reload again at the 200 with a nice fall down. We just missed a 54 bid right there, though. Let's just punch some out right now, 58s or 57s. We get a little piece out there. Hopefully this can continue to fall down, but so far so good here on the shorts. I really like ARM. I think we can get to 62 again. Let's wait to see. We only have one fill down there at 62. That's been the bottom, and it's exactly what we wrote down on the sticky note, 62 long. But we're going to play the short here in a market that's down almost 2% in the NASDAQ.
Semiconductors absolutely obliterated today. Take your pick: NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Taiwan Semi. It's all been red. Here's a look at NVIDIA, 3.5% to the downside, trying to hold on to 440. Here's the reason, guys. Shares of semiconductors and chip stocks are trading lower as TSMC has reportedly told its suppliers to postpone the delivery of high-end chip-making equipment amid demand uncertainty. That is not what you want to hear from the world's largest chip maker. Here's a look at NVIDIA. Micron not faring much better, trying to hold on to 70. AMD 4 1/5 to the downside, trying to hold that 102 level. Intel also 2 1/4, barely above 37 2/3. What's the look on the chips, guys?
Well, the wrong kind of chips are the flavor today, and it's been pretty ugly. It's been pretty ugly. I think it's weird because the one stock that's probably the most overvalued is the one that's holding up, and it's like everything else is looking really bad to the downside. The one I'm in right now, we'll go with some lunch money stuff like a little bit in a bit. But yeah, I'm in Intel. I've tried to stick with this one multiple times, you know, once 38s, and then kind of got this local high out and then wicked out, so jumped right back into it, rolled through the low, kind of adding back into it here, but I feel like I'm going to get trailed out if this is the bottom on Intel. We'll see what happens, but it's been a good short, and I'm looking for this to be another hump into the downside. It's been ugly. You see ARM is holding up really well, but you mentioned one that we've been ignoring. Well, I shouldn't say we've been ignoring, but I've been ignoring, and that's Micron, and I made note of this one for the 69 level, thinking that that could be support. I think you have a decent chance at maybe getting there today, the way this market is going. So it's rolling that 70. It's been a big, big level. Usually you try to fill these gaps in on really bad days. So if Micron can kind of roll over this low, I know I'm in Intel right now, but this is another one. The market goes lower. It's been stair-stepping to the downside. I mean, next step is to fail this 70 level. The only thing that's held up that hasn't broken lunchtime low was AMD off the 102. Even then, That's only because it probably fell farther than everything else. That's why it's holding, I think, the 102 level, whereas everything else is stair-stepping to the downside. So it's been an ugly day for the chips. ARM is flat, which I said it looks even more impressive when you put it up against all of these, because every single one you pull up is going to be pretty nasty here. So the fact that ARM hasn't broken lows, I find a little bit surprising. But the market's going to surprise you sometimes. And this is probably one of these sell-offs that you come into a Friday when you had a couple of decent days and the exuberance over ARM. We'll probably do for a little bit of this. Just expect a little bit of volatility in the afternoon. If AMD can hold on to 102, I think that one's okay. But I'd rather be trying to short Intel and Micron if we can continue this stair-step party to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, we only traded, we've still got ARM, that's $1.50 in the money. We're flat now on AMD. We had some great longs back in, man, on AMD. Like these 102s, this is 10, I mean, I just took it now and was like, I don't know, so I got out for flat, but 102 right there, up to 103, again bought them, again up to 103, and then we just stopped out right there and then stopped out again. But this one we just got in and out for flat. It was literally right here at 102.13. And I was just like, I don't know if we think the long is here or not, but I don't know. The futures are just right at the 50-period moving average. We're down 1.82. We could get even a little more spicy to the downside. I feel like we're short Amazon here. We just went long Tesla right now. So we'll see if that one can come through, 273.60s. This is a very, very small position. What we're trying to do is to see if Tesla wants to come back in here right now. Then we'll put on something, trust me, down here at 272, this bottom. We did have a great Tesla short, and then we took the long at 74 and got it out at 76.40 for those of you that were watching the midday show as well. So here we go, man. Starting to bleed down just a little bit more. We talked about that Amazon trade. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We haven't looked at NVIDIA today. Let's have 440. Yeah, I mean, again, we always talk about this. It's like, as soon as that after show hits, I'm just like, oh, let's go check out NVIDIA 450, you know? And today it was bouncing around a little bit on 450. Then there's a downside move right now. Let's see if it can hold. I mean, this is probably a better long right now than AMD, but I just don't know if you want to go long now. 439 and change, bouncing off the 50 period. I mean, a short up here at 442 would be pretty sweet, coinciding with that resistance level right there. But let's just stick with what we've got right now. We're short Amazon. We're short ARM right now. We already talked about that nice downside move, and then pretty soon we're going to talk more about tech tank. So let's go over there and have a look at that.
Yeah, the tech sector, big tech anyway, the Mag 7, were not spared from today's sell-off. Let's look at Meta here. It's barely holding on to that 300 level. This is one of the only ones of the Mag 7 that actually had a headline today. There was news about them not monetizing their WhatsApp platform vis-a-vis ads. They denied that report. Doesn't really justify the 3.5% move anyway. Meta down 3.5%, Softy down 2 1/3, Amazon down 2 3/4. I'd say Tesla faring the best out of the bunch here, 1.18 to the south side for Tesla, trying to hold that 272.75, guys. You guys in any shorts or longs on big tech?
I'm on the last of my bounce on Amazon. I think we talked about this one in the lunchtime show. It was trying to break back out. It tried to hold this support one time. I got the secondary bounce off the 140.50. It got to 141. Took some out, took more out. It's just stair-stepping, and it's stair-stepping to the downside. So it has been a decent bounce trade, but like pretty much everything else, there's been a limit to how much of a bounce you're going to get even off of a good level today. So you got to take whatever is out there for you. If Amazon rolls through, I mean, if 140 breaks, that could be floodgates. The only other thing to consider is, remember, it is a witching day. So I'm not saying you got to have a plan for 350, but pretty much every one of these names is going to, big tech, they're going to randomly come out with these million whatever share buy imbalances or sell imbalances, and not all of them are going to be what people are expecting in terms of up weights and down weights. Like Amazon's supposed to be an up weight today, but it could come out a gigantic sell imbalance, and those kind of things will like shift the stock at 350. So you want to keep in mind that that is happening. I'm out if we break 140.5 here on Amazon. I'm actually trying to take the 141. If it's resistance at 41, I'm going to get out of that long at 41. We'll talk Chinese ADRs later because I am still in BABA as well.
All right, I mean, we've just done really well on Amazon, and we just started trading it just right now. So, I mean, there's the short 140, 115, boom, down to the downside, 140.50. I mean, that's, you know, and then right here as well, we just hit this all the way down. So now it looks like the market's going to try to bounce back up, which is a good thing because we got more Tesla right here at 272.75. So there's a nice little buy. Now we're flat on the name. Let's see if it can go up. We're still waiting for that 272 flat to come through on Tesla. But big cap tech, that's about it, man. We don't have anything else really. AMD, we've already talked about it. Amazon, that's it. We haven't looked at Apple or anything today.
Oh, note on micro.
I'm going to try to be specific on what I'm looking at. So
I just want more of an observation on Microsoft. I don't think I traded Microsoft this week, to be honest with you. But yeah, Microsoft is it's pulling back. Obviously, here's a 15-minute chart. Load. It is at a major support level, that 330. This is where you bounced yesterday. You had a little bit of a triple bottom, just liquidity grab underneath. This could be one of those situations. If you get down underneath 330, 327 is a pretty big level. Because it's Friday and there's some imbalances in there, there are levels that I will like for like a 350 play. So if there's a big extension to the downside and one of these suckers comes out with a potential for a reverse play at 350 or 55 and your softies at 27 or 30, it's a gimmicky style play. But I like those types of things right at the end of the day. If you can use like that close and the closing imbalance off of a monster level. If softy breaks 330, I think it's bad for the market. Obviously, as I said, I haven't traded this one, been really only in Amazon. Apple today was unfortunate if you're trying any bounce plays. There were a couple of opportunities on Apple. And if you picked your spots well enough, which is not easy to do in a downward trend. If I just stayed with the one long off 175, got in there to 76, and then every other time it was just tight stop wrong. And then you've actually broken down. If anything, 175 is probably a good short. And now that I look at it, hey, look at that. Triple bottom at 174.5, 174.5 resistance. How's about nowish, Apple?
That's a good look, Neil. Just at about this time yesterday, we got news that Disney could possibly be spinning off their ABC legacy media to Nexstar, and this was the result. The pop up there through that 83.50, we got as high as $85 and then trended around there in the aftermarket. This morning, we wake up and all of a sudden, billionaire Byron Allen making a $10 billion bid for the ABC network. Disney did well today, broke that 86 level, got up to 86.19. Still green on the day, half a point or so, just a smidge below 85. You guys trade Disney?
A smidge below 85.
yeah, Disney again, another top name here for me. Although we've just broken through 85, but I mean, again, like it's just sometimes names just do what you think they're gonna do, and I mean, right there, bouncing off 85. Big time trade off the open there, about $1, so up to 86.15 is our best out. Then we averaged it back in again right here as it came back in and got it all out. Then got the rest of it out right there as we were starting to break back below. So we started taking 30s off of 85.05, whatever that is. Then it just came back in, and you know we weren't taking a lot of shares, but kept on getting in and out here at 85, and then eventually it broke lower, and I just got out at 84.90 before we dropped down to 84.60. That probably, I wasn't here when that was happening, so that kind of sucks because that could have been a buy. But again, no real reason other than we were low on the RSI down there. So, you know, that could have been a buy. Just like that was a buy, you know, some low RSI moments coming through. But yeah, so I still like Disney. I like that talk. I like everything that they're doing over there. We just got to make sure that it has the right flow through, right? If they don't get ABC done, and they don't get ESPN done, I think they want to probably keep ESPN, but as they go, I think they're planning on losing $3 billion on their DTC offer for streaming. But remember, Netflix was also a cash burn for a while, right? And so once Disney finally figures it out, I'm sure they will get it going. But for right now, yeah, pause for concern for sure. Anybody long Disney, you know, you got a nice bounce the last couple of days, 80 to 85. You know, good bounce there, 5, 7, 8% on that move. Probably worth taking some off if you've been averaged in and you're just swing trading this. You're bouncing off the 50-period moving average right here, so that's something to look at always. That was at 86 today, so kind of not surprised that we bounced off that 86 level there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Like, you run into those major moving averages in a downtrend, and you kind of get some people wanting to take some profit when it bounces. Disney goes up and Netflix goes down, and it feels like that's been the flavor the last few days here. So Netflix is through that 400 level. It does feel like with the break of 400, this has a very good chance to get back to the 200-period moving average at 370. So this is one that it bears watching next week. It's a pretty exhaustive downward channel. One thing that could, you still have an hour or a couple of hours here. So there's always the chance it double bottoms and closes above 400, which wouldn't be that bad in terms of a relief rally. I think that would be a good sign for the stock. Maybe trapping some people on a Friday underneath 400, then maybe you get a relief rally. But it closed underneath 400, and I would tend to be thinking shorts for Netflix next week. We'll see what happens with it. I feel like Netflix isn't usually an afternoon trade. This stock, like you have it early, you have it off the big level. Maybe you could work the 400 if it were to make a bounce here, but in the afternoon, Netflix is not usually the name I want to go to, especially when it's barcoding at the bottom, because it's not a consolidation short at the bottom play. Like if you like the long, maybe you could try to work that, but I'm going to stay away from Netflix, and let's move on to the next, some Chinese ADRs, and we'll talk some AMC, because I am in that one to the wrong side.
Yeah, just before we get to ADRs here, Neil, the ES at a critical level, 4,500. It's been trying to do that dance and hold 4,500 for a little bit of time. So eyes out for that if you're trading the futures or if you're in any big tech names. All right, let's look at BABA here. This was, stronger earlier on. PDD, XPEV, NEO, they were all a little bit stronger than the overall market, still are, as a result of the Chinese retail sales data and industrial production that grew in August. A surprise report here. Retail sales grew 4.6%, surpassing the prediction of 3%. Much the same thing for industrial production, 4.5% from last year, surpassing that 3.9% forecast. BABA down 1.14 on the day. PDD also down 0.75%. But XPEV, NEO, and Li Auto, the EVs, outperforming the market right now, guys.
Logic. That's right. Of course, XPeng and NEO are having a good day today when everything's getting flushed, right? Like all of the EV companies that aren't making money are all up today. At least most of them are up. I feel like that's true. Like what is the EV name that is losing money that didn't have some kind of a run this morning? It's a very strange thing. Alibaba was the one that I liked this morning. It's a trend down, so usual caveats out of the way, regardless of how it's been. You always would prefer to have been short something like this, but it is what it is, right? Like it bounced off. We got the bounce play yesterday on Alibaba, so that's why, and we're missing data from yesterday. So anyways, BABA was bouncing off 87.5, and it was a good bounce in VWAP. This morning, it made it low right there at 87.20. So when it held that at 11 o'clock, right after we got off the show, took that bounce, couldn't quite get to VWAP the second time. So we talked about this during lunch money, and then it kind of made that same bounce again. This time it did get a little bit tighter to VWAP, and then 87 started holding. I liked this wick bottom, like a big volume candle, wicks under 87. I'm like, okay, let's go. Get 87 long. It's proceeded to do Chinese ADR things when it goes sideways in the afternoon. So it's not making fresh lows when the market is, but it ain't moving either. At some point, if it just doesn't move at all, obviously I have to get out of the position. But BABA 87 holding and doing absolutely nothing. For those of you that are watching NEO, close but no cigar. It did make a pop and fade trade, so it was strong early. Came to the downside. There was no $10 level. There was no fade off of 11. Not a lot clean here, but I think it's right back into what I've been saying over and over again, or what everyone's been saying over and over again. These are geared up like they're gonna break out these lows. So, downward trend into a single bottom. That's 10 for this. It's 38 for Li Auto. It feels like it's just a matter of time. You just got to be patient. Because one of these days, it's going to break that low, and you just want to be ready when it does.
Yeah, we don't want to miss out on. I almost forgot about that Li Auto play there.
I didn't even look at that today.
Man, we just got stopped out. We tried to buy some JP Morgan there. We got stopped out through 60. We'll try a little bit more here just in case that 60 holds. We'll try one more time down to 148.50. Banks were strong. They're not anymore, though. We went long, got out, went long just now again and got out again. So we'll be L on this one on JP Morgan. But let's give this a little bit more room. Chinese ADR is nothing there. We said that we would try to get some more long here in Tesla against the bottom, and that's pretty much what we did right now. So you can see our current Tesla position. Not great, but we'll wait to see if something can happen here on Tesla. But Just getting my order set up for JP Morgan here. Let's see if it breaks or not. But here we go, Tesla. Oh, let's just zoom this out so you guys can see. All right, so this is the chance. I mean, the market is continuously falling. I mean, this is why we went short on Amazon. You can see Amazon's 50 cents in the money. Would love to even get this name 50 cents in the money if that's possible. Maybe that would just be the scalp out, but you're just coming right into this level right there, which is 271.65. So we said that we would average into this position, and here it is right now. It's Tesla. We're long on this. You can see the prices. I mean, we're long right here at 272.36. So we put on many more shares here than any other spot. So that's a good average price. We have nothing out. So 272.36 right now is what we have on Tesla. So let's see where it goes. Right now we're out of the money 20 cents. Obviously, you know, this has that bottom of 271. Where's my stop exactly here? 271.60s is the bottom. So we'll see if it can hold that. But right now, this is what we do, man. We put on the trade. We think we like it. Let's see if the market has found a little bit of a bottom. It's just come back into that low again. Tesla was nowhere near here at 1230. So if you go, well, actually, now it says 130. So we got to go to 130 on Tesla, right? And so at 130, you know, Tesla was all the way up here. So let's see if we can get going. It's definitely flushed down, so there is some negativity here in the name. But Tesla right now trying to do its best to hold 272. You know, if it doesn't, then we've got 40 more cents to go after that. And then it is flushy on this system. So we'll see what happens here. But it looks like it's still doing its best job trying to hold. So hopefully it can do that. And then we'll see. We've been ringing the Reggie over and over and over again on Amazon. Every time it comes into these levels, we just keep on. Unless we're going to do the trade ideas read, we're probably done with the rundown right now. But there it is right there. We're going to do the trade ideas. Okay, yeah, whenever you guys want. But right now, Tesla, go, man. This is what we wanted. Sure, whatever you want to do. Yeah, no problem. We'll give that a little more time. There goes Tesla. I can literally hear what you're saying right now too, Ramin. So that she's like, how could he hear me? And I'm like, because I have the thing in my ear. So
I didn't hear it.
There we go. But let's give it a little bit more time. All right, here we go. Tesla is really the only thing that I'm worried about right now. We've been getting out of Amazon. ARM is now $2 in the damn money. I think we can probably just get out of ARM right now. Let's put a bid right here, right now. See if we get a fill at 10. And there it is again. So there it is, man. It's another one. There goes ARM to the downside. It's a $2 winner. Let's see if we can turn Tesla into a $2 winner now as well. Good move on ARM. Nice move down. Now let's just get going TSLA.
I can barely hear you guys in my ear, just out of curiosity. I think we're done that, but there's one name we didn't mention. I said I would. I promised I would. We might be getting another test of $8, and I almost didn't want to wait for the $8 level here because when this started breaking down, talking about AMC, stalled 850, lower high, and when it broke down the quarters, I'm like, okay, let's go. Shorted it. It came right back in, held a low. So there's a channel between 825 and 815 that I'm short inside of, looking for the break to the downside. This has had a tendency to bleed in afternoon sometimes. And obviously, like yesterday, it already made a move. I was shorted early looking for the breakdown that happened like here. That didn't work, so I'm shorting this breakdown that happened at 830. A lot of times, I like setting up the trade off the 15-minute chart like this. You can see like the breakdown here off the 15-minute. Get out when it gets back green, the breakdown here off of 830, and then want to work it into the $8 level. Now we are ready to go to the desk and take.
The afternoon rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used by everyone on our desk and by many of our traders every day. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check them out using the link in the description for 20% off.
All right, I probably have too many shares here of Tesla. You know, you never like to be sitting here wondering, you know, what to do with your stock. I'm not wondering at all. I already have the stop, but like I'm just thinking the market. Like I'm going now. I'm like officially going against, you know, what I'm trying to do here, and that is sell names when we're below VWAP and when we have a trend and just stick with it as it being your friend. So again, I'm learning like every single day, right? We're getting better. I feel like we've had a great we've had a great week, but if this breaks, we'll turn ourselves red for the day, which should be probably the first red day this week for us, which we're nowhere near losing if this breaks. Nowhere near losing what we did yesterday. So yesterday we had the ARM IPO, which was fantastic. And then today, again, a day 2 play. ARM is again my #1 stock today. And it's a completely different vibe, right? I mean, we put down 62 long. We could have just hit that and it would probably still be our #1 stock as well. But the minute we sort of started falling down here about 10 o'clock and we got under the 200 period, that was my first initial short right there off of 65. So, or 60, even lower, higher than that, 65.50, whatever that was. And then we got a great cover down there to 62. So we actually wound up making about $3, $2.50 or so on the best part of it, but made money all the way down. And then when it came back up to view up again, we shorted it again right there. So that was good. And then now you're seeing what's happening now. It's bleeding even further down, down into, okay, I don't have any more bids, so which is fine. I actually don't want any more bids on this name. Like because if we take out 62, I think we can get significantly lower on that one. I'm not going to make a call. I don't know if we stop at 60 or not, but I am looking at that 58 level as well. So we'll see if that can come in. I think the market's going to have to be a disaster for us to get to 60. So I don't hold me on that one as being making a call or anything, but we'll watch to see if it first has to break 62. Hopefully that happens. If not, fine. Here we go, man. We are getting very, very close. Tesla's at that breaking spot. It just took 272 pretty easily there, and there it is. So now we're out. You see, let's see what price we got. Okay, we got 57, so that was okay. The break was 67, so we got about 10 cents worth of slippage. So there it is. We will flush that Tesla trade down the toilet as there it goes, breaking the day's low, and now starting to head to the downside. So we tried in a name that we thought was going to be pretty strong today. It did battle back, but again, my whole day, my whole net is my net on Tesla today because we've made money everywhere else. The only lost on Tesla there. So we're going to have one red name. It's going to be Tesla, and then possibly JP Morgan as well, because we were testing these longs, and that's not going. See, even as I look at this, I still want to go long Tesla now again. But I think we'll just have to be patient and wait for that 270 now, because we got out there short. We talked about the 276.50. People even were confirming it with me on the chat there. That was a good out for sure, but yeah, definitely slipped up there on the way down for Tesla. So that sucks. We thought we had that. Well, I didn't think we had it, but I liked the low, and we were super patient. I mean, I'm talking like this. We lost 80 cents. So we were long at 32s. We got 60s. So 70 cents or so, plus a little bit of slippage back and forth there. So it looks like net down about 80 cents there on Tesla. But like I said, when you're using a few shares, it does wind up costing you at the end of the day. So
not everything's going down.
No, not everything, but many things.
Many things are going to just come over here for
ARM,
$3 for a quick second. Intel's going sideways as the market's making some
Look
fresh
at
lows.
ARM.
I got to use my black chart here because my other one you'll see in a quick second. But
easy.
You're going sideways at this moment. We'll see what happens. But I'm in it off of this level. Oh, it's filled in. If you leave it up long enough, eventually it'll fill in. That is heading a little bit of the upside. I mean, it's a little bit counter trend. So for whatever reason, down 2%, leading the market. But bit of a bounce there in Intel. Micron's trying to get back to the 70 levels. Well, that's the other one I was looking to roll into a short. Once this curls, if this curls off 70, maybe this is just weaker than Intel, and that's the one I should be in. I mean, Intel's is at 80, and I'm at 75, but it's the fact that it's not falling is the reason I'm at least a little bit, curious as to why that's going to be true. AMC's doing that. ARM, that 62 level on ARM. I just feel like it's not it did that flush. The last time this happened, I took the break. This was 59 yesterday. It was 3 separate times I took the short off of the break to the downside of the next level, and each time it wicked 50 cents and then came right back up, and then was a breakout trade. So I might wait for a little bit of confirmation that this actually wants to flush through this level, because in the afternoon it did the exact opposite of what I thought it was going to do through that breakdown on ARM. 58 is next support though, so there's a lot of room for that one to continue to drop there. Apple is going to get to the low of the day. AMD could be a quadruple bottom break through 101.80 as well. Not much is holding up in this market today, and if you can find something that's strong, you guys let us know. I haven't seen any like small caps that I think are worthy that might give you a run in the afternoon. Like my scanner there is pretty light. So if you see something, I'm always interested when the market's falling. Are there any things that are looking strong that maybe you can look for a long trade in? Not much is out there.
Guys, we're hella positive on Amazon. I mean, there goes Amazon. It just continues to flush down. Great opportunity here on that one as we just continue to cover that trade. Still mad about that Tesla. And you're welcome, chimps. I mean, look, I'm trying to just be real about, about my thoughts, about what we're doing, about what I feel about the market, about my share sizes and everything like that. And just like, when I lose on something, it sucks because you know that we're putting on shares, especially now with names that we believe in. We're putting on levels, right? And we're not just here to like scalp in and out. If the trade's there, that's fine. I thought this one had a good chance. So losing now 80 cents on this seems fine because look where we are now. We're down to 271. So getting out is hallelujah. And look, every time we take an L, you got to remember something else, right? We've got ARM. ARM is $3 in the money. ARM is the #1 stock here today. There it is. I mean, I can't, there's nothing else about this. So we're pretty happy about the way this name moved. It just flushed down 70 cents on that 62 break, immediately down 70. Like it stopped at 30s there. So there it was. The wick down is 30. So there's the break of 60. Actually, the break is really of 63, but the minute it broke 62, it's one candle in 1 minute, 70 cents. Okay, so I feel like there is some weak hands here in this name, and they're giving up their shares and not defending these levels. But it came right back, so the cat came back the very next day. But the cat came back. And we're gonna, yeah, exactly. We thought it was a goner, but it's back right now. We just took another fill there at 80s on JP Morgan, so that was 11 cents. Boo-hoo. Hopefully this can get back up to 149, and then we'll start to really sing the praises of that trade. But until then, we don't do anything, and we just wait for JP Morgan to see if it can come back up or break that low right there. So a little one-to-one action. Don't know if it's going to work out or not, but that's what that is. And then Amazon, like we said, we just covering some pieces here at 50. It doesn't look super exciting here, but it's a big stock.
I'm going to show you my chart, but I'm having some issues with my Amazon data. Sean's is fine, but mine isn't. I just wicked out at that 50 level. Had to stop at 140.50. That's the line I've drawn here. But we had the long, took most of it out in front of 141. It dipped into 150, reloaded in there, and then it just broke it by like a couple of cents to the downside. I'm out of it. Is what it is. Weird things sort of happen sometimes in the afternoon show for me, but with that data. BOVESPA's starting to go to the upside. Maybe this is something that can buck the trend. It's the only thing I've got to the long side off that 87 level. But I'm gonna be scalping this out because it's counter trend and it's just not going anywhere right now. If it's flat and it's not moving, like you can't expect a huge move, but it's Chinese ADR to boot as well. So you gotta respect that. I just heard that Moderna is strong. Moderna's had a couple of really good days. A few good days, I want to say, this week. And it's, breaking out the highs. This is stair step to the upside. It had some trouble clearing 115, which is the actual week high. But that's not bad. If the market gets going, if we get some kind of a move off 4,500 on the ES, this doesn't look that bad. At least you're joining the trend here with Moderna. So we'll see what happens with that Alibaba. If it even goes 25 cents, I got to take some profit out because those Chinese ADRs in the afternoon can be a little bit dull. But Moderna looks pretty solid. Only 1.5%, but it is strong. I like to play relative strength when you get the opportunity. And that last little pop just got me into Micron. So in front of the 70 level on Micron, I'm going to start to work a short on that name. Anything else out there, let us know, because I'm always looking for something that is relatively strong. And there hasn't been a lot to work into.
No. The Tesla long. Yeah, I see that. I see everyone talking about that. I mean, it just bounced off 271 and gave a wick bottom down there as well to 271. And then it stopped and now just completely going back up. So that out there at 60, obviously now is not looking great, but it was fine before. The market is trying to bounce. So no surprise there. That's why our out on Amazon was pretty key. We are almost done with this trade right now. The market could take VWAP, which looks like it wants to do right now on this name. I was going to try to buy some more Tesla down there, but really, like I said, I mean, I'm actually up more than I'm down on Tesla, obviously, because we've had some pretty big bangers today, including the number 2 stock today for me is going to be Amazon, just off these fills. So that's how good that's been. Number 1 is going to be ARM. Number 2 is going to be Disney right now, and then we're going to see what happens with this JP Morgan trade. But there's Disney again, hitting back up off the 85 level. So. Like I said, man, so far so good here, but we are trying to find something that could go long. Let's just check out Meta. Yeah, Meta's what, 304? What is Meta at?
No, Meta just bounced 300.
Oh, down to 300. Yeah.
Yeah, it got all the way.
You still want to go long though? I still think this short.
Yeah, so let me go. My 15-minute chart's the one that's actually working here, so I'm gonna probably stick to that. Apologies in advance. It happens to me sometimes in the afternoon. It just bounced off of like 299.86 Meta here, so it's a nice round number. On a Friday, you like these big, easy numbers like 300 to work a defense off of. So we're at 301 right now, which is a little bit crazy. It's already bounced $1 when the market's barely gone anywhere. And to boot, like it's really like $10 to the downside, down 3.5%. Like it's pretty far extended here. Being a third Friday, I usually look for at least some kind of a rally and a bounce when you have these kind of lows, and 300 looks really good. So next available dip, I think this could be one to work off of. If you're already in it, it's much better if you already have it the first time it wicked 300. If it comes down there again, it's a little riskier, but I want to have some tight risk down there on the 300 level for Meta. Bamboozlement, Ponzi Fonzie says. You're right. There's a lot of bamboozlement here today, especially if you're looking for the longs. But if you waited, like, okay, so Meta was down $7, but it bounced $2 off 303 when it showed you this consolidation, and it looks like it's already bouncing off 300 here. There have been opportunities for some long plays out there in the market. You've just had to be unbelievably patient, like ridiculously patient. Michelle, Oracle broke. If Oracle broke 400, then what are we all doing here? If Oracle was at $400, man, I don't know. I'm assuming you meant 114. Yeah, I know you meant 114. Yeah, if Oracle could get through 115, this is something which is in a bit of an upward trend. Like, it's not at the high of the day or anything, but that's not a bad look. Already taken VWAP, steady higher lows and higher highs pretty much throughout the afternoon. That's something to dig into. Moderna, I don't know if it's moving enough. Meta, I need the 300 level if I'm going to get it. Yeah, this Oracle looks pretty solid. Oracle feels like it's made its bottom, man. You know, Adobe came in today and got smoked pretty much the entire day. Oracle's held the 110 level. You're getting close to the 200 period at the 50 period at 117. So I would think that would be a trouble, but that's $3 away. So you have room to get to the upside. I like me some Oracle. Michelle, you're definitely, you got something here with Oracle. Although I kind of want the chips to go to the downside. I'm still looking for chip weakness, but I wouldn't mind some bounces everywhere else.
All right, we're taking 20 cents there on JP Morgan. We just got some more out there at 90, so that was a pretty decent fill there. Let's see where we go. I want to short Meta until we break 301.50 there, so let's see if we do that. We'll short it at 30. We'll start it at 30, get out if it breaks through 50. Tesla's right back to the price that we were long, so that's a piss off because, again, to lose a little bit there, a lot there, kind of sucks. So that's not making me too happy. But the JP Morgan is, so we're okay on that one, making a little bit back on that for sure. And then that new idea was Meta short. Obviously, we just talked about that as well. So like I could have taken 301.15, and I was just like, let me just wait for 301.30. And down she goes.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, we were just talking about that right there. So, I mean, I could have had it. Maybe I'll do a little bit now. But, again, like I said, waiting for a little bit more. Yeah, there goes Tesla again. Nice move back up to the upside, which is fine for me. I don't have any shorts on. So, if this goes, it goes. But that could have been a day changer right there. So, oh well.
Yeah, I did miss AMD at that 102 level. Like by the time we just talked about it, and like this is the candle. Like it smoked it to the downside when it took out that low. Like it was a nasty one, is what it is. But it's now bouncing off 101.50. Like I don't want to chase it. The chips have been relatively weak, and they're kind of holding their bottoms a little bit better. Going to come back to AMC because that local bottom. I got one fill right at that low, and then now it's breaking back out. So I really don't want to hold this past VWAP. If it breaks down, I think it's got a lot of room to fill in, but once you get through that, going to jump out of that trade, tight stop on something trending to the upside. AMC, I'd love it if it were like a 9 break, but it does have the feels that maybe, like there's a chance, like the short was really good yesterday, but then the short wouldn't break down again. I'm really looking for the breakdown trade, and it's just kind of stair-stepping back into the upside. So you try to chase the magic here, and it's not really flushing. Maybe we get something next week where it can actually hold up for a couple of days and get a little bit of squeeze action on AMC. Maybe it's not today because I don't think it's not really accelerating that fast, but you never really know with that name out there. I do like that Oracle look. Certainly that holding VWAP and already breaking it. Something that far ahead of the market looks pretty good to me. Just sitting on the bid. I want this 114 if we can get it in here. Lots of room for this to get back into the upside, to be sure. Hot pepper squadouche. What's squadouche? Market's bouncing, baby. About squadouche. I feel like we already squadoushed today. I don't think there's another squadouche in this market in the next hour. It doesn't feel very likely. Not on a day when you have all the rebalancing and all that index action. It tends to not, like you don't usually turn from like 2% to like 3 or 4%. It's happened, I've seen it happen like maybe once or twice, but usually like the move's the move and we've already had it. So you're just looking to have like these little scalp trades in there until we get to 350.
Yeah, we'll see. There'll be some big imbalances coming through today for sure. We can actually check out the imbalance locator right now to see if there's anything on here. I mean, look at all this, millions and millions and millions of shares. So BlackBerry has a 14 million share buy right now. That's obviously not Apple. These are only going to be New York names, okay? So right now we don't have anything other than New York names. So this number is going to be hella spicy. Like it's going to be in the billions here today as we have S&P rebalancing and a couple different expirations today as well. So it's quarter end, right? And so today the third Friday in September, so you're going to see some of this action, which is funny because this is the lowest date possible for a third Friday, right? The 15th. So we'll see right there what's happening. You could take this for what it's worth. Like there's Palantir with a buy. I mean, these are all going to get paired off as we go. These are all from the floor broker right now. So you're just going to see like, I mean, this is. You know, when we're just talking about a number here, Blackstone alone, 14 million shares times $100 a share.
And look at the pairs already huge too.
Yeah, the pair's already huge. So these are just people that are trying to get in and out of names without really influencing market dynamics or market prices, right? So that's why you're going to have these big, huge flush opportunities right away at 350 and then 4 o'clock when they all hit the market, right? So 350, why we say that is that's when they get publicly released. Right, and so right now we are lucky enough to pay for this, and so you're seeing it for free. But this is an entitlement. It's a floor broker feed, and you only get it here at Day Trade the World. So that's something that we have on look now. I don't really use it that much
brokers
until the end of the day.
I wonder, like it's usually those are the kind of things. Like some brokers might also have it that maybe it's a pay fee other places. Like we just get it for free. Like I couldn't speak if there's anybody else that gets it that for free. Just a quick little update. There's a mini bounce in the market. I said if this made any kind of a bounce on Alibaba, we'd start taking it out because it's just not moving. So it got up to 815, got the 87 long, got some 15s. I'll take some 20s. I'm going to preemptively put an offer in front of 30 as well, just to take advantage of it. And it's actually probably a good time to do this because, you know, just talking about and showing you guys the imbalances. Like day trading, it's a little different at times. Like trading is trading, momentum is momentum. But when it comes to like day trading, like we do, you have little tools like the imbalance locator and little things that you can do at the end of the day, market on open, market on close, that we can take advantage of. So anybody that is interested in learning this platform or learning to trade or learning the markets in general, our campus program is back on. You can apply today. Check out that QR code below. Like, what is it? Hey, first of all, it's a learning experience. That's what it's all about. It's all about the program. It is a structured program. All you got to do is put the time and effort. It's built around a flexible schedule, so it's more of a part-time type of thing. But you are going to start it with like a market introduction. Then you're going to learn the platform. That's P Pro 8, the exact same thing you see us use live on the show. So you'd be trading in that same system. Phase 3, you get to go into the simulator. Once in the simulator, you're going to be in there for a few weeks. You learn both the platform, but also trading. You get one-on-one coaching. Then you have the opportunity to go live. That's the key. Go live, earn real money, get a funded account. potentially. This is where everyone wants to be, but it is a process to get there. It is free. Put your time and effort in. All you have to do is apply, get accepted, and put some effort into it, and you're going to be able to learn the markets. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity. We always say that anything that is free that you wanted anyways, what's the downside risk, right? So at the end of the day, it's up to you, something like this. The key here is minimum 8+ hours a week. It's like 16 hours a week of total trading, trade review, and coaching. That's not a lot. It's a pretty flexible schedule in there. It is not available in the US. We've said that over and over again, unfortunately. But as I said, campus.daytradetheworld. Check out that QR code below. If you're interested in trading, this is a fantastic opportunity for anybody. And obviously, I'm speaking as somebody who we trade on this platform, but also when we originally hired the first traders on the floor Sean and I had, we hired students who traded part-time. And I found that sometimes because guys would come from class and come in and trade like a few hours in the market, like it was just laser focused because they knew, and a couple of guys in particular that I think definitely honed in, like they were laser focused when they were in front of that screen, and it really drove them. And a couple that have done really well in their careers and are still actually in the trading industry. So good for them, and I hope that can be some of you.
All right, maybe we can look at some cannabis names or something. I don't know. JP Morgan is starting to go back up, man. We're now 25 cents in the money on this buy. We got stopped out there, but bought it back. So it's kind of like we're just making back what we lost. But that was starting along at 76 and out at a break of 60. So that's about 15 cents. So right now we're doing a little bit better, but we've already taken some out. So we'd like to see a 149. So I'm at 148.98 right now to try to get some more out on that one. So let's just have a quick look at CGC. We really hit Nikola yesterday. I know it has nothing to do with cannabis, but I was just thinking about plays that are off $1 here today. So Canopy on the way down right now. Yeah, not really the dollar break there for today. So let's kind of, maybe we'll leave Canopy alone, but you still had that bottom from yesterday, 125. That could be something there as well. Let's check out Aurora Cannabis. All right, still trying to get above $1. So it did get there today. We had this the other day above $1, and it was pretty good. We didn't. It was Nikola still. So we'll have to wait to see. This name's been really struggling above $1, but from where it's come from, I mean, a lot of these names really from nowhere into everything, right? And so it went above $1, but only went to about 112. So we'll see if that one can come back in. I feel like now at this point, if there's any kind of a flush down in the cannabis space, it may be investable at this time just because of everything that we're hearing. I just don't know, being up 100% here, some of these plays, like some of them are up even more than that, if now is the right time. I've obviously been rolled up and smoked on some of those plays as well. I keep saying that, and I have to go back and look because I know I took profits when it was there, just to have a couple thousand of whatever of all those shares as well. So, all right, there's JP Morgan. We actually get a 149 right there, so that was banger, and not a bad idea to go over to the banks. I mean, the banks have been so super strong in the last couple of days, right? I mean, I don't even know where it came from. 143 as treasuries are back to 21-year highs. I tweeted that out earlier, so some of this is a little puzzling, but nice move back up there to 150. We're still waiting for that 50 period to break, which is now at 151. When that breaks, I think you can sort of green light this back to highs again of 158. So nice bottom there. We didn't even come close really. Well, I guess we came close, 140. We got to 143 there. So came close to the 200 period. Look at that. It's been really great off the 200. The 50 was good until it broke, and now we'll wait for it to get back above that. So far so good here. If anybody's sort of waiting on cannabis or on the banks, looks like you've got a nice little bump up there. I also saw Wells Fargo. This was another name that I almost went long down here as well. Looks like this name would have been a little bit better to go long. I'm not sure what it looks like on the daily. So it dropped down to $40. I don't know. It's going to take a minute for this to load. I don't know how long it's going to take for this 200 period to get going either. But there it is right there. So it didn't. It was a lot weaker than JP Morgan because we broke well below the 200 period and got down to $40. So I don't like this one as much because Morgan has that bounce there at 140. So I like that opportunity a little bit better in JP Morgan.
You seem like like the MS, the MS and the MS and some of the other ones have had a decent bounce, I think, because of the IPO thing as well. So that's been good for them. Yeah, of course. Like now the market's going up.
man.
So I had the short in the mid 90s on Micron. There it is breaking 70. I don't want to be fighting anything. I want the consolidation stair step to the downside if we can get it. It's a good question by Jack of all trades. I'm going to get that answer for you, but I'm pretty sure it's a yes. Day trader, you can trade from home eventually, but I'm going to get the exact answer on the timing of all of those things for you there. So Micron headed back up. You're still a bit range bound on the NASDAQ. So you're bouncing, but if you look at the last hour or so, I mean, it's more like an hour and a half. The last break to the downside, you've made a low that's been held. You've made a higher low resistance point, which we're just kind of going back and forth. So I think the way to play this, just allow it to get to this top. We get back into like 15.4 in the NASDAQ. Allow it to get back to this top, then look for a little something to the south side. It gets to the bottom, look for something into the long. If it's going to be that kind of action, as I literally get wicked out. But I'm in Intel and Micron, so tight stop on at least one of them so they don't both go. But if you get to that top, then look for shorts when we get to that top in the futures, as opposed to trying to catch something when the futures are in the middle of the range. That's usually a way to get chopped up in the afternoon. As I mentioned, Alibaba, like once it gets like even a couple of stair steps up, if it gets to VWAP, we'll be thrilled about it. This is a trend to the downside, which, by the way, I don't think I said this. Like Alibaba's got a flat bottom break, which looks fantastic. Like this is a level that's been like it's been a holding around here for some dip buys that you've been able to take something on. But if this breaks this low underneath 87, even on the daily, like it's not as nasty as something like what Li Auto's looks like, but that's only because Li Auto's been a stronger stock. Like the reason Li Auto's breakdown looks so great is because Li Auto quadrupled since its lows from last year, whereas the other Chinese ADRs haven't really done that. So that looks really good, but there's another one brewing in Alibaba as well. For now, long in front of it, but the day is going to come when it's that short underneath 87 on Baba. Guarantee you that much.
Oh man, we get stopped out of Tesla, and then I miss $1.50 on Meta because I'm trying to save 15 cents. Oh man, it's so frustrating sometimes. There's 300. I mean, my offers are still there as if I was going to get them, man. 301.29, and we talked about this. Like it was right here. That's 301.30. And I was right here. It was right on this bump, man. The highest we got was 15s. Like I was right there waiting for it. Didn't come in, and then now it's $1.50 to the downside. And that's trading. You're not going to have the trades when you want them, and then you're always going to look back and be like, oh man, like missed that opportunity. But okay, so I don't know. Like, I don't really know what I want to do right now. So
it's a frustrating.
Whenever that happens,
I just looked at
like JP Morgan is. I took some more out. We got that 98 fill right there, and then I just took a 90 fill because I thought it was cranking lower right now. To me, I don't want to go back to the well. My whole day is basically my Tesla net, right? Like I've made money everywhere else. So it's like if I get First of all, if I don't have Tesla, I'm green, obviously, today, right? So that's this one. I don't want to go back to the well, but I really think that this market, if we turn around from these day lows here again, I don't know why I feel so confident about Tesla right there, but this is the NASDAQ. It's trying to bounce again, and Tesla's still holding out half decently. Like it's only down 1.23, right? Like
it's the strongest stock this week.
Well, yeah, Apple's stronger today, but I don't.
No, I mean this like on the whole.
Oh, I love Tesla. I mean Tesla. We were just talking about. You got some long at the 20 in the.
Like it's been a beast.
72.20. I got long in the 40s. It's just like.
Oh, actually, no. Maybe that's not true. Maybe Amazon was stronger this week. I could be wrong about that.
And all I've done is short Amazon, and it's my number 2 stock today, right? My number 1 stock is ARM on the short. My number 2 stock is Amazon on the short. My number 3 stock is Disney on the long right now. So. It's like some stocks are going to be long, some stocks are going to be short. Come on, ARM. Do that shit again. Like quadunk down below again, and let's see if you hold 61. Let's see if it can do that.
Sometimes it'd be like this.
What?
So I'm holding Intel. I'm like, oh, Intel just filled the bid. That means that my out must really suck on Micron. Oh, it really sucks on Micron. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Micron, with the old tight stop. So Intel might be going down. Intel's one of the stocks that's doing this thing for me on the charts. I can't show you the whole day for some reason unless I use my black chart. So this is the whole day on Intel. I had been short pretty much most of it, but I was adding in here. and now it's getting down to the bottom. I have another bid at 60s. I just got a fill there, but I should have hung on to the Micron one. That's how it is sometimes. Matt Carnes, thoughts on Siri and the 4.5 and a 4.5C from this point? The last time I looked at Siri was when it was squeezing, was it like a month ago? I think. Yeah, that was back. Oh, wait a minute, that was more than a month ago. That was like in July. So this was the last time we looked at Siri. It was in the afternoon show. Remember, it was breaking out. It was a great long for I don't know, one day. It was a great long, and then the next day goes back to doing what it does, which is fall back into the downside. Yeah, $4. That's not bad. I mean, it's got a double bottom on the daily. I see what you're getting at here, but again, here's the problem with that. You should already be in. If you like the long at 4, it's already happened. There's the dip. It holds 402. You're long 2s and 3s. If it comes down there again, then you're just all of a sudden flushing there. Oh, you're talking about the 450 calls? You want to buy calls on Siri? I guess that's just a spec play on a possible squeeze. And
Yeah,
you know what?
short interest, I think.
Yeah, you know what? That's right, because Siri's short interest is much higher than we remember it being. It's 25% short.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 25% short float, and you're just looking for it to bounce off this level and squeeze. As far as spec plays goes, it's at support and it's got a huge short float. There's nothing wrong with that. After the last squeeze, I don't think it'll be as big of a deal as before, but you're only talking, I guess, having it bounce 10% back into previous levels. So, I have no idea what that's costing you, so I'm not going to be able to tell you that. But it is at a good support level. As a day trader, if this was the morning and I was looking at this, I'd be thinking about a long off $4 from a risk to reward standpoint and thinking it can bounce and squeeze 10%. It's at the end of the day right now, so I don't necessarily love that at the end of the day. But I see what you're getting at. Just understand that what you're doing. At that point, it breaks down. You lose everything. That's why you play the options. It feels like it's headed back to the downside here. You can see it trending back in, but squeezes are squeezes for a reason.
Yeah, we had saw that before on Siri and was like, what? And we forgot that it was very highly shorted. But I just got bored of it. So we'll end the trade, man. It's a profitable one, that's for sure, on Amazon today. We put that in our pipe and smoked it today. Boom, boom, boom. I just got bored of it. I was looking at all the positions that I had. I'm almost getting bored of this arm as well. 250 in the money. I was just like, we've already have great outs here on Amazon, and I just don't know if this market's going to flush or not. So based on that, I was like, let's just get out and then we don't have to worry about it. Obviously, right now, you're seeing something happen on JP Morgan as here's the out. So again, in their average at VWAP, out at the 50 period of an 80 break there when VWAP was 95. So we have some 90s out. So every loss is like 10, 12 cents. And then this take right now, we're in the money 35 cents. So that's pretty good. But at the same time, let's see a little bit more action on this. If it can go back up to the upside, what else do you guys want to look at? How long is JP Morgan running? What's up, Caro? I don't know. Here's Caro right here asking me the question. If you're not part of the chat, it's because you got to subscribe, and subscription is absolutely free.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Then you can join everybody here in the chat and see what's going on. Oracle's pumping. Oracle, that stock can go to hell as well because I missed buying some. I wanted to get some at 109, and then it was there, and then we don't buy anything while we're on the show. And then over lunchtime, it was like 111, 112, finished at the highs, and then it's going up again today. So I feel like there's some missed opportunities there buying that. Go Tesla, go. Yeah, tell me about it. Tesla going right back up to the upside.
Just to be clear, because there's always people that are watching for the first time. When Sean's saying that, he means in his personal account. So we don't, we trade stock. We can buy Oracle here and trade it as day traders. We don't take positions or enter positions in our personal accounts while we're on the show. That's all. That's all. I think it's all he's getting at. And Oracle, this is a great move for Oracle because if you saw what happened to Adobe today, Adobe, good quarter, nothing wrong with it. Beat top bottom, growth looks good. It failed the 50 period, and it's pulling back in there, down 5%. Probably just because it needs to do what Oracle already did, which is have a reasonable dip, pull back 10, 15, maybe 20%, and then resume. That's what happens in bull runs. If stocks trend up, reasonable trends that aren't squeezes have pullbacks. like legitimate pullbacks. Like it already pulled back 10% before making a new high there. It pulled back 10% there and then made a new high. So this is going to happen, and that's exactly what Oracle did. And you're seeing what the relief rally can look like after you let things settle down. So Oracle settled down, now it's making a relief rally. I don't know where Adobe's going to settle. Maybe it's at 500. Maybe it's at 480. But when it does, I think that's going to be a good opportunity in that name. Yeah, but Bob was starting to come back in there. Obviously, Intel's bouncing a little bit here. So Intel bouncing off the lows. They didn't get that fill at the low of the day, but it is bouncing just a little bit. The reload has to be in the 80s this time. If we're going to reload this in the top range of the futures instead of trading mid-70s, got to be tight to the 80s. That's probably the level that's worth taking. AMC, is it a long? Maybe. I mean, I got out of it. It's not screaming. Usually when AMC turns and run stops, like it just goes. Like, you know, like it run stops here, it goes. Run stop here, it just goes. Like it got my stop, which I think was a reasonable one. That was a key price area, and it went 3 cents. I don't know if I see this one as a runner this afternoon. Like it should be moving faster than this if it's going to go. It's power hour. And when AMC breaks a stop level in power hour, it's supposed to go to the upside, not come immediately right back in. I'm not going to re-short it because it is trending upside today. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Smooth J doesn't like Oracle apparently that much. Nathan's in the Adobe long.
Yeah, that's another one. You should be in Adobe long too.
Well, like the day trade?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what. I haven't looked at it.
No,
Today,
I like it at 500. I like it back to 500. I think it can get back in there, and it looks good on the daily
5%.
chart. And yeah, it gets. I mean, Oracle pulled back full 10%. Like, why couldn't Adobe give you that entry? So, when you said that, I was like, is it really making a bottom? It is actually making a bottom here, but this is not a stock we usually trade. 525. Spread's usually pretty big on this one. Do you guys have a video of your settings? Thank you, JSUP. What platform do you have and what tools do you use? I really like your setups. We trade day trade the world floor. We're trading in P Pro 8. That's the software is proprietary to day trade the world. So I mean, if you unless you are on a day trade the world floor, like the settings that we have and how we use the platform is going to be foreign to you. But you can always DM. I get questions from people who are at Day Trade the World that are curious about what keys we use and whatnot. It's easy to answer those, but if you're not on P Pro 8, then none of it's going to matter. If you want to know what our chart settings are, that's all pretty easy. Like I have pretty standard stuff on my charts: volume, VWAP. On my daily, I got the 50 and the 200. Like nothing too crazy. I might slap. Like I have one chart that I watch here, and I might slap like a relative strength, RSI on it. That's about it. Like not a heck of a lot. That most people wouldn't already understand. But if you have any specific questions, let us know.
Yeah, what's up to Larry Wanta? Yeah, you're right, man. We're pretty tired here this week. It's been a great week, man. And I have about 200 fills today, so it's been a good week. A lot of positivity.
Exactly 200.
A lot of stuff. No, I have more than that. I have about.
I was gonna say I have exactly 200.
Yeah.
On the nose.
I have. Yeah, but you're including buyouts or no?
I don't even have that many on it. I have 20 fills on that one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I just have I have about 260 or so. I just said 200, but about 260. It's way too many, for sure. All right, Ponzi Fonzie, you just saw the tweet, the hot dog tweet. Okay, so we'll do it. Then I'll find it. We just tweeted it out on there because someone was asking about it, and here it is right here where we did this. This was Halloween in 2021. So there it is right there. We that's that animation. So there we go. We dressed up like a stupid dumbass hot dog. Look at this Facebook price in 2021, right? That's almost close to where we are right now, 326.
That's my favorite part.
I remember looking at that, and it was like when that was down, when Facebook was down into $115 or something like that. I remember saw this came up on one of my timelines or something, and I remember looking down and was like, "What the hell?" And then, but now it's right back, and we actually. Probably my best trade during COVID was buying Square at 35. And you saw where that one ran to at 200, something like that. And then just recently buying just in this last October and stuff like that. And you saw the professor had a big trade on it as well. Buying Meta down there at 100 was huge. And we're still in the majority of that because I'm trying not to sell any of that Meta as well. And then Adobe, we had a great price as well. We're long 4 bills. That was just off last earnings. And then we have Airbnb was a pretty decent long that we bought recently. That's pulled off a little bit. We didn't get anything out when it went to 158 or something. We We were in Rome when that happened, but that's still Adobe. Airbnb right up to there. Oh, not even 158. It only went to this one. Oh no, it was just recently. No, there it is right there. 155. Yeah, August 1st. And we bought that off of, this one's not that much in the money, but it was off of a bad beat there, miss, and then came in, supported this 105, and then we took it on this 50 period break back up. So I was trying to wait for that. Today, Airbnb, I think it's today, right? Doesn't it get added today?
I think so.
It's either today
it should be
or it's
today.
already done.
No, it should be today.
Yeah, so it's added to the S&P. So
Yeah.
today you're probably going to see a big, huge Airbnb print on here once it comes at 350 because Airbnb's NASDAQ, right? So, wow, Blackstone now.
It's bigger.
Bigger and better Blackstone right now to the upside.
I don't know if it's better,
No, I don't know either.
You know, we haven't said it
it's
once
starting
today.
to go up here. Yeah,
it's
go
not
ahead.
it's not a huge deal, but I don't think we mentioned the dash is going to the NASDAQ. So if you're accustomed to typing .ny to that one,
why is that?
It always frustrates me when this happens because I'll get, for like the next month after a symbol changes from one market to the other, I will steadily just screw it up because of muscle memory. So dash will be the next one of those. I think that's like, I don't know, like end of the month maybe. I just got the low of the day on Intel. If not for this, like this one stop out, you're gonna have stop out sometime, but that's a frustrating stop out. I did jump back into it, and I have rolled back into it impatiently, I would say, because sometimes you roll in on the front end of a trade instead of the back end of a trade, and it works out. But it doesn't mean running into it on the front end of the trade is a more efficient and effective way to do it. In this particular case, it happens to be working. I don't generally favor doing that at all. Tony Price, precious metal stocks like PAS have been strong all day. Okay, well, I mean, risk assets have sucked. They're having a bad day. You can pick a few of them that are doing pretty well, so that makes a little bit of sense to me. I can roll with that. Not something I think the other day we were asked this question. It's like we're not really metals people. Like I don't really own gold. I don't really trade gold. I've made gimmick trades on GDX around events. I've traded GDX around. Like when we have like an index, or not index day, but when we'll have an interest rate decision, sometimes you want to trade some gold. But this is a standard breakout through 17. Not that bad. Like you always look at that daily chart, you see something like this, which is making a strong move and maybe rounding into something big. Not necessarily today. I think you're running out of time for something like that. But yeah, you get a close above 17, like quarter or so, and then you got room for it to get to the upside. That looks pretty interesting. I don't mind that. Like that's not a bad play there if you're into it. But you know, when you're already in it, fantastic. But yeah, you have to see it may move a little bit more. There's one we haven't seen in a while. Nathan, Roku. Oh goodness, Roku. Oh, Roku, where is the bottom going to be is the real question for Roku. There you go. I know this is going to be a setup that gets boring to hear, but that is what we call, I don't know if this qualifies exactly, Sharif, is a descending wedge because of this high here. Like this high is higher than that one, so technically it's not a descending wedge, but it's certainly a flat bottom break if Roku takes out 75. How many times are we looking at the same setup? Like, a lot of these stocks are getting right into these support levels, and they could all break at the same time. They could all bamboozle at the same time, too, where you just kind of wick underneath that 75 and then recover. But, yeah, Roku breaking 75 has 10% to the downside when you look at the 200 period and the next resistance level. Although I would respect the bottom it made going into the earnings at 68. So, like, sometimes that's a bit of a level. Like, this made a bottom at 68 on earnings. So if it breaks 75, I think maybe you could get to that level to be sure next week. Roku should be on our minds. ARM, everyone's yelling ARM.
Yeah, ARM's going back up here, so that's good. It's not good, but I have 64 break. If it breaks 64, we're going to get out of that one.
Tell me you didn't.
We only have a small piece anyways right now, but I really think the more that I look at this, right, like if we break above right here,
65?
we break above 65.30 or so right here on ARM, I think that's going to be something right here. That's 65.30 or so. Well, yesterday it ran into the close.
Yeah, no, but just because it was like the same thing. It was going down,
Stopped
going down.
at 66.
And then once it reversed that move, stay on Sean's chart for a second. Yeah,
5-minute
once it
chart.
reversed, it's fine. Everyone can see like it reversed the trend, and when it broke back out, it was absolutely nasty.
It's a 70 here.
I was waiting for it to do that at lunchtime, and then it never happened. And it was a better short off the 65 level. But I think that's a breakout worth taking, no question. It looks, yeah, 65.30. I have 65.35, but that is probably a distinction without a difference.
Yeah.
You could just take maybe the 65 half. Given that it ran like $1 million yesterday,
Could
obviously
be.
joking, I think it could be a good one.
It could. So I was wondering now, we could make a lot if this works. Like, what if it's 64 as the 65 today, you know, and we just made that run, and now you're getting ready to do this into the close. It's so tough to think about it because you don't really know what people are thinking with ARM. Like, we had that big move up yesterday, but that was IPO day. So again, traders probably trying to paint the tape a little bit, make sure that they get in, make sure that it goes back up to the upside. It could have been whoever the underwriter was, Goldman or JP Morgan, just buying it up to make it look like it had a great close and everything like that.
I kind of feel like someone got someone got caught cocky short.
Yeah, I should have been short. I should have been.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should have just been short there at 64 bucks. Overthinking things. Sometimes that's the problem. Like, that just went right into the 200 period, which we short every time. And we got too interested in what it was doing. But I mean, it could come right back anyways, right? So it's not like I mean, we could just get it. So let's just put our offer there. I mean, if it comes up, it comes up right now. Oh, by the way, we have 10% left of JP Morgan. So this came up. Now it's coming back down. We're gonna leave it. If it gets me out, it gets me out. I don't care. Bigger fish to fry right now. So I think we'll put that order in on ARM right now. It's a NASDAQ, that's right. Damn it. Now it's all the way back down. Okay, well, whatever. We'll put that in there in case it goes for that jaunt, and which it could do, right? Up to 64 bucks again. We'll give it that love, see if it wants to go up there. If it does, fine by me, and then we'll just get out on a 64 break, right? So 64, we'll give it up to like 64 and change, then we'll punch out of it. If it goes, just make sure my order went out, and it did. I'm gonna cancel, make sure it goes out again. So we'll take a short around 63.80 and then watch out for 64, but I just think it's worth the try. There's a lot of opportunities here in this market. Let's see if this is another one.
Yeah, I'm kind of favoring the breakout, but I know long term I think ARM is a short. I just keep coming back to Rivian went up for 5 days in a row before it absolutely died, right? And it really did die. Like, when Rivian turned around, it was just seriously nasty. Meta is right back to that 300. Bouncing off of that 300 level. So if it can get back in here and we play that range, it's like 301.50 to the upside. I'm looking for a reload of the Intel trade. Bob is not worth doing anything except just waiting for it to bounce and maybe get something to the upside. Out. Want to get more shares out there. I saw that Life W was making a bit of a move. Better late than never, because I remember like this was one I wanted to like maybe make the run when we were talking at lunch money. I'm like, yeah, if this can get through that top, show a bit above here, you can get to like 25, 30 cents. Like, that's a good move. This bust 22, you get to 25, 30, that's not bad. It's just not really there yet. Like, it's breaking the 20-cent level. It already rejected this once. Okay, it just done, like, when he did lunch money, it was just pulling back, right? So it pulls back in, holds VWAP. I'm like, okay, well, if it can take that double top, look for a potential breakout. This does set up here. Maybe a 22 break on this, and you give it to 20, see what happens. There's no news on it. Wow, I didn't even get an order in. Okay, I was just talking about it. Why is there a half-a-cent spread on this stock? No. I'm going to show you this. This is, why is this still on Google? I have no idea. I flipped this. So when it broke, look at this. That's like a half-a-cent spread on a 20-cent stock. That's not usually, it's on 600 million shares. Why would the spread be that big? It should be a tight spread because the buyers are moving this all the way to the upside. You don't usually want to see a spread if you're taking a breakout trade, because that means you're hitting the top and you're out 1%. The second you get into it. So you want to see the spread tighten up a little bit and then get into that trade. So maybe sit out the breakout, which means almost like instantly failing the breakout of the top. See things tighten up a bit, and if it tightens up, then look to enter the long. Shreve was yelling out that there's no news on this stock. Penny stocks don't always need news, but it'd be a little bit better if it did have news. But yeah, when this spread tightens up, maybe it'll be worth it a second time.
I mean, okay, so we're going to think there's going to be a rally into the close or what? Because right here, Meta just broke through 3 bills, stopped at 299.70, and now is up 70 cents from there. So this is what we have to decide right now is, do we want to switch over into longs? Because right now we do have a nice little bottom area here for Meta at 3 bills. So we do have that nice bottom area. I mean, this is what I'm talking about trying to use. So right now, the only thing that I really got to try to solve here, it's not any of the trades, because the trades are fire. It's the sizing. Like, do you get in right now or do you wait for a pullback? Because sometimes when I get in, it's like I get in now for like half the size you need, and then it just goes up $1. And then when it rips up $1, you only have half on. You don't have your full position. And then when it comes tanking in, like it did on Tesla there, which is now $1.50 in the money, and $2 in the money from where we got out right now. That's part of the problem, is because when it comes back in and it just goes like this, I have a full position on. So when it breaks the low of the day like it did there, I get out and then I wonder what the heck. So I'm going to actually make sure I don't have my Meta. I'm going to cancel some of the offers that I have here, just clean things up, because now the market's starting to go upside. I wonder if we can get a little bit of an Apple bump here at the end of the day, taking out the 200 period right now. Still checking in on ARM. We are ready to take that short, but with this market move up, that's a danger spot, obviously, for ARM as well if this market gets going. Apple's getting close. Apple's been here all day. That break right there of 174.60, probably good enough to go. But like, again, it looks like that's a good short area too, right into here. So I don't know. I'm a little bit not confused, but just like not convinced, I guess is the word, that this is going to be a long here into the close today. But I mean, the market's giving you the long, so maybe we just punch long.
Yeah, I don't think this
We're
penny
still so low.
It is. We're right off the bottom, which is appealing for a bounce play, especially today. The spread tightened up on it, so I did take the 22 long on Life. LIFW, you know what? I should at least make some kind of an effort to say the name of the company. MSP Recovery Inc. LIFW. I just assumed it was like Life was in the name, but apparently not. So MSP Recovery, the spread tightened, so I got the 22 long. Let's see if it can actually go. I'm just looking for a little bit more of a press. Here's the part of the issue is this. I'm trying to, there we go. Look at the volume. Like, it's taken out the high of the day, and it's a volume spike. It's not bad, but it's not overwhelming either. Maybe it's just a symptom of it being Friday and things being slow. So not a heck of a lot of follow through initially here. Like I said, 25 is a reasonable level for it to get to. On the daily chart, we're looking at 25. That's kind of like right here, and then you're looking at 30 right there. So 25 and 30 make some obvious places that you think this move can get to. On a Life W, Troy sitting at 21.4, fantastic. Ponzi Fonzie, Dallas minus 8.5. Hey, we're taking Dallas in our Survivor because I think everybody is, and they're not going to lose this week. So, yeah, I think they're the biggest. They're the biggest spread this week, and then the Bills are number 2. So we're taking both those, and then we'll hope for an upset somewhere else. But yeah, if you're in Survivor, I feel like everybody's going to be on those 2 games because there's almost no chance, man. Like, I just can't see Dallas losing. I'm not a Dallas fan, but they're not going to lose, and I cannot see the Bills playing as poorly as they did and losing to Vegas. It can't happen, right?
Should not happen.
If the Bills lose to Vegas, the way the Jays have been playing, I'm going to be in a very bad mood this weekend because I'm already having to deal with the fact that the Jays are just screwing everything up and blowing the playoffs, which means I'm not going to get to go to any playoff games this year, which I really enjoy and my daughter enjoys, so thank you very much for the team. Choking, absolutely. Ponzi saying careful, what, with Life W or with the Cowboys? Because I think we're pretty good. The long in Life W is a riskier trade than taking the Cowboys. In Survivor, they just have to win. Forget about the spread. They just got to win. Like, they're not going to, like, they might not cover like that, even though they're going to cover, but they're not going to lose the game.
No. Yeah, in Survivor Pool, you just got to have the straight win or loss.
Easy peasy.
All right. I'm trying to stick with what we're doing here. We're still below. We're below VWAP. We're below everything, although there could be a last second bounce. Remember, in a couple minutes, we're going to get the imbalances, at least the early look on it. It's going to be something ridiculous, and I'm not sure it's going to matter, whatever number Sharif gives us in a couple minutes. So we'll go short right now, AMD. We're short right here, right now, 66.5 right now on advanced micro devices. So let's see if this one works. And again, look, there's 101.80. So, weak name down 5%, 4.5%. Let's hope it gets down 5% right there. And then we're shorting that. We've got 102 cover a little bit. The 200 period, I don't want to hold it that far against me, but that's 102.20. That might be something that we have to do. But here's 102. So as this comes in, I feel pretty comfortable right now. As there it comes in. So here comes AMD, nicely done, back into the downside. Again, still more work needs to be done on this, but let's see if it wants to continue this move down. So for right now, AMD, we're short it. It's an amazing 10 cents. Hopefully this can come back in. We're just saying that tongue in cheek. If we get a 101.40 though, I feel like we should take something out if that can come back. We'll take something at 50, just like 5%, and then we'll take like maybe 15% or so if we get back into the 40s there, and then we'll see about a break because that's the low of the day.
You have to scalp.
Trend down. Yeah, I mean,
It's
like
a
I said, whatever this imbalance is coming out as.
It's 10 minutes till the early look. It's a 40 handle range on the NASDAQ. In the last, I'm not talking like recently. I'll get to Life W in a second, but like
my order.
I'm talking about since noon. You've got a 40 handle range on the NASDAQ. That's for 3 hours. You haven't done more than 40 points. So you're scalp trading, man. If you're finding something that's moving, then it's not big cap tech. Like you're scalping that, and you have ranges that you can take advantage of. So Life Dub, or whatever the heck this company is called, 22. It just got to 24. So if I think 25 is the first level, take a little bit out, tighten it up. I don't want this going underneath 22 anymore. This is a move where the local breakout already happened here. So there's a lot of people that are long 20, 21 in there. There's a lot of people probably long like 19s, there's people long 15s in here, and there's exit liquidity for them up at like 25. So when you're doing the tight scalp trade, you got to take it out, not expect to get the move that's already happened. Like the parabolic, hey, we're going to get a 50% return on the stock or 100% return, that's happened already. Like this move is, let's just be happy that it goes like 10, 15% because you're chasing. Now next week, respect to that, it's a day one play, right? So anytime there's a day one play, you can come back and look for another move next week. If it's maybe 25 to 40 or 30 to 40, that's the kind of thing I'd look for like Monday, Tuesday. But for here right now, we'll just be kind of happy to take whatever we can get. If we can get another push into 25, we'll be half out if it gets to 25 and then look for something after that. How was the spread on Life W? When it first broke 22, it was a 0.5 cent spread, and it pulled back in a little bit. Then when it came back up to 22, the spread was like what it should be, like a tenth of, like 1/10, which is what it is right now. A penny stock doing 600 million shares should have a tight spread. If the bid's not following it, to me that tells me it's not going right now because the buyers aren't matching all the way to the upside. You want to see that when you're looking at a stock. Like, look at the spread now. Like the spread is tight to the top. Like it's basically like 1/100 of a cent, like you'd like to see. But when it was breaking 22 the first time, it was literally half a penny. That's nonsensical. You don't want that. Because that means you're a sucker if you're buying that top because you're instantly out of the money. Wait for the buyers to actually chase the move to the upside and then join that party. So let's see what happens. JP Suede, NUE all day. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. I mean, we've been, actually, I did that whole thing where Blue Ocean's the first thing that came up when I put in Nucor. There you go. Yeah, the metals have been strong today, so Nucor better be up. Right?
Odd.
Huh? What? Nucor's down today?
I haven't looked at it. It is down.
Okay, yeah, I'm a little surprised. Yeah, a little surprised by that one. Why is Nucor breaking down today? Why is Nucor
They
breaking
didn't report. There
down
must have
today?
been something about them. Guys, look at ARM. You know, at least we still have everything. We still have our sanity and everything like that. But look what ARM just did. You know,
Oh, okay,
again,
that's why.
like it just did this. And we were waiting at the 200, but I wasn't paying attention. It went to 80s. I'm at 88. So that's another $1 there missed because we're not at the right price. So there it goes again right there. It's not that we're not at the right price. I mean, we were right there. It's just it didn't continue to go to fill us. So it filled, I guess it only filled 75, 78. So we were at 88. So we missed that by 10 cents or else we have that move back in. So let's just cancel. I'm going to cancel ARM. I mean, that was the trade. We tried to put it on there. We missed it. So missed opportunity there in ARM. My bad. But that was, should have had it. We don't. That is what it is.
Here comes the Huadunk.
At least we talked about it. I sure hope here comes the Quadunk.
Here, no, not in the market.
Oh, I
Check
hope
it
so.
out. We got the 24s, and then it's right back underneath. That's what you see, like a big flush right back through. You never want it back through the breakout price. So there's the Huadunk on Life W. You try to take those shots, and if I'm more aggressive, I told you guys, if it broke 25, at that point I would get half out because I am looking for a little bit of a bigger move. So that'll be slightly worse than break even on it just by a bit because I didn't quite get half of it out at the end of the day. But you want to hold on to a piece of it for the party. But the better long is usually in here. Gave it a chance on the break, it was going, but I'm always going to get out here, not try to carry and get stubborn about it. There's just not a lot of follow through on that one. So it is what it is. I always trade these with stops. I didn't always trade penny stocks with stops, but I would never take a breakout trade without a stop. Sometimes when you're trading like consolidation levels, you can be like a little bit more manual with it when it's calmed down. But when it starts to gear up like this and it's starting to move a little bit faster, I feel like you got to have that stop in there so that you're never getting out here or here. Like you're getting out tight to that 22 level, which is what you need to do. While that was going on, the market's not even going up that much, and Intel's just gliding back into the 80s, just gliding about double bottom, glide back into the 80s. I'm waiting for it to do the curl thing, like get up to 83, 84, start to show the back end of the trade, then I can slide back into it. It's just taking a lot of patience because I'm like, oh, it's getting there, but it's not really showing signs of turning yet. So we can't really get into it just yet. But that's still 330, so there's time for this to make that move and then get back to the low of the day, see if we can get 20 cents on it. But I'm not going to get on the front end. I want this to be the back end of the trade almost every single time.
Yeah, Meta's back to 3 bills again. Definitely I see that one. And we short AMD, but we don't short Meta. So, it's like it's been a little bit of a disaster here with some of these plays that were just missing levels by pennies. Like Tesla, our whole day would be blasting if we had just held on to that. But that went against us and we got out. Now Tesla's at 274. At least that one's making money back to the downside or to the upside for those of you that held it. So congratulations on that one as well. But I'm almost thinking about a bottom break on Meta now. Everything's heading to the downside, but I mean, here we go. Now the market's doing this. Market could take this level right here. That's 15,400. We bounced off there. It hasn't broke this in 2 hours. So a nice little level break right there on the futures happening right now. So just be careful with any of the shorts. The only one that we have on of any real concern, ARM, I'm not even. It's a small piece that we have left on ARM. So not super concerned about it. It's more about any kind of a break that might happen right here on AMD. That's 102.17, I guess, right there. So we're going to wait for 102.20 to break. And if that breaks, then we're going to get out. We just got another fill at 80s. So now we're sort of getting back in here on AMD. Let's see where that works out for now. But it looks like it's trying to go back up to the upside here. So AMD, a little bit of a short coming through, but we still have that 102.20. So we'll sort of be, ironed to that until that winds up breaking. Hopefully that doesn't break, and we'll get a little more short if we can near that 102 and then see about this close. Because remember, it's no idea. Yeah, join me and Michael Noss.
They will be
today.
big. You just don't know
I
which direction.
feel like they're going to be quite large
Well, look at the early look.
there, and we just looked at them again. Yeah, join me on the after show. We'll be going over all this kind of stuff, man, tonight. But there it is. Now Blackstone is gone. So we'll see. Blackstone was 20 million. Like we said, don't be afraid of all these numbers. They're not going to mean anything until 350. So we'll wait. We're going to get that update from Sharif in just a couple seconds, in 1 minute, and then we'll give it to you from Financial Juice, and then that will tell us what the initial number is out of all of this. But I don't think it's a big deal at all. You got to wait for the release, and then when that release comes, then we'll see that. So we do know that we are in a little bit of trouble here with AMD. So if that does break that 102.20 part, then that's when we're going to wind up getting out. So let's watch out for that 102.20 there on AMD. So a buy and bounce probably shoots that up there. So we're going to get tested pretty soon.
Yeah, I just got out of Intel. It's probably a good example. Someone just asked me what's the difference between front end and the back end of the trade. Perfect example here. Like, The back end of the trade is stock is falling. It makes a bounce. So this is the green candle, and this is me getting on the back end. So it bounces off a support level, rejects resistance, and then I get short. Once it's confirmed that it's trying to head back down off the bounce, then you get into the trade. What I did earlier, which, it is what it is, like it bounces, I'm getting into it on the bounce before it actually turns around, and then it heads back now lower. Now, sometimes you get lucky, and it rolls over, but like that was on the way to the upside that I was taking the short. And then this time here, I was like, well, let's wait for it to turn. It did not turn, so I just stop it out off that high. If it rejected that high and starts to come back down, then I short it in here after it turns. So when I say front end and back end, that's what I mean. And the thing about it is, like I can say all I want that I always intend to play support and resistance by getting in on the back end of it, allowing it to bounce off that level. But sometimes you get that FOMO. Sometimes you get a little bit of that FOMO, you get it a little bit early, it doesn't make it a good thing. I just heard, can you type it in the chat? It's a 1.2 billion to sell is the early look. So remember, this is a special kind of day. On another day, like 3 days ago, on like a Monday or a Tuesday, if we heard 1.2 billion to sell, we'd care about it a lot. Like we'd probably be looking aggressively for some short positions. But on a triple witching day, with it also being index rebalancing, we're expecting a rather large number. And look how the market has cared about that early look. Like Intel's further breaking out. This is why you have stops. The NASDAQ is breaking the channel to the upside. Bob is doing exactly what Chinese ADRs do in the afternoon, which is barely bouncing off the low. So I'm still in this 87, and it barely is moving. So might have to just get out of that one. Like I said, it's not good enough that it's holding. You need it to actually run sometimes. So the imbalances might matter. I think you want to look at individual names when they come out. That overall 1.2 number, it's doing absolutely nothing for the market temporarily.
Yeah, there it goes. Everyone's loving Tesla. Yeah, I think Tesla's a great stock to trade, man. I mean, we've traded this thing a lot this week, which is why we've had a good week. It's just obviously not messing up, but we got stopped out there. I should have probably held it for more than 70 cents because, look, we had a really good position, and it's back up to 274. So good job there, anybody that held it, man. Congratulations. It's been a good trade there for sure. All right, so the last of the trades for me, possibly, we'll see, is AMD. We didn't get everything there at 08 that we wanted. We were trying to wait for a little bit more as we're getting close to that pressure point. Again, you can see our average price is 81, so we're out of the money 20 cents here. Okay, let's just wait to see where this goes. Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, what's up? That's good. I like that. What's up to YouTube here, or Yahoo Tube 83 or whatever? You just took 20 on a fast AMD scalp. Perfect. I mean, I hope that's stuff that either you've learned from us or yourself, and you put that trade in your pocket. So congratulations. And no, look, you can go short, long, everything, all different. Like I said, makes zero difference to me if you guys are short or long. Like you got to trade your book, trade what you guys are doing, and that's fantastic. And that's why I always say it. We trade with drastically different share sizes, all of us. Max, Sharif, Neil, me, different positions all the time. So, you got to trade you. Like if you have 1,000 shares, 25 cents in the money, 250, that's a great trade. Take yourself out for dinner or whatever. That's an absolutely great trade. And if that's what you're looking for, then that's great, right? We're all going to have different targets, different expectations on those trades. So, hey, that is fantastic. And I think anytime you put a W in front of something, then you're winning. So I like that trade. A green trade is a green trade. Let's just see where AMD goes. Like AMD I don't really want to be in this or in any of these plays heading into 350. So I'm getting close to sort of tapping out on this anyways. Now wow, guys, we're out 10 cents right now on this AMD trade. Let's just see if it pulls back. I mean, we will take probably a little bit out there if it gets into the mid-80s again, just to make sure that, we're not too offside in case this does come out. But if this also comes out a sell, then we'll be singing the praises of this trade as well, right? And so that's part of it. There's always a risk in this business. So we'll wait. We'll see if it pulls back. I'm here for a pullback, but at the same time, AMD is testing us. It's testing the short, and I'm in it, so patience hopefully will rule the day one more time here, and it will fall back in. But we have our target, we have our out, and we'll be here on Monday no matter what happens.
Exactly. I love Nunya there. I took myself out to dinner once, and all I did was argue, which it's true, man. Hey, you know what? It's the most healthy thing in the world, I think, anyways, to argue with yourself like internally. you should always be questioning your shit, like yourself. That's what it's all about, man. Like, did I do the right thing here or there? Like, how could I have done this differently? What can I learn? How can I be better? Like, that's arguing with yourself. Who the hell doesn't do that? Unless I'm crazy. I argue with myself all the time, right? So here's an argument I'm having with myself right here. I saw the Huaduke here. I then flipped away from the stock, and then look at it. It's a fail at 22. There's your pullback. We got the good out, right? You want to make sure you get out there instead of there. But then it consolidated right back at 22. You could have shorted that level and then said failed break late in the day to hop into the short. Now, I haven't paid for locates, so I probably actually can't do that because I didn't check to see if we have free locates on the stock. But maybe that was something I should have done. Like, I always ask myself that question. You should be doing it. That's what it's all about. You don't have to slap yourself, though, Richard, in the chat. You can just kind of, you can question what you did there, and you can give yourself like a, little tap. You don't have to slap your own face. I mean, you can do this if you want to. Or where's the other one? Let me do this one. Just try to remember that somebody thought that was a good idea, and it wasn't me. I'm just saying. What a great key that one is.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's so great we'll do it again. Yes. Like the shirt changes sides. It's like the pocket goes from side to side. Somehow, like I end up like 2 shades lighter. I go from being my brother to myself. It's just kind of weird there. Yeah, we try to have a little bit of fun. Oh, Kevin Bachman, paying for locates just means, like if you want to short sell a stock, you have to borrow it first, right? So sometimes a stock isn't easy to borrow, meaning there aren't free shorts available for you to be able to borrow and then go short. So at Day Trade the World, if we don't have them, we can request a quote from the broker to pay for shares to borrow. So in this particular case, like I don't know because I didn't do it, but I can tell you with ARM, we all paid for the ability to short ARM, and that was about 2.5 cents per share traded today if you wanted to go short in ARM. So there was a cost associated with it. Like Alibaba, which I have up right now, free. Every other stock that you can think of, most of the time, free. But something like ARM would you have to pay for. Whatever the hell Life W is, like some random penny stock, you probably have to pay for because they're not easy to borrow. But anything you would usually think of as the stock you would trade or people would own, yeah, we'll be able to short those for free. But locates, they're part of the cost of doing business. Sometimes there's a price you're not willing to pay. HKD comes to mind when it was at like $2,000. Like it was so expensive, no one's paying for that locate. That's probably why it came down.
Okay, yeah, HKD. Crazy stock that one is.
It's at
I don't know what it's at now.
$4.20.
Yeah, that one ripped. Some nice accounting on HKD's part. Again, so yeah, we'll do the same kind of a slap right there because I'm exhausted. I cannot believe we missed that trade. That was $2. We just bounced off 62 again. Like we're $3 in the money and I'm getting frustrated and that's crazy. But that is what it is right now. And I just was thinking that we'd go even lower. And we had this exact talk, man. We talked about this short. It just didn't come in for us. It was very, very close. Didn't happen, is what it is. Now get the hell down, AMD. So hopefully this name can start to flushy a little bit right now into this report. So into what's coming at 350, which is the imbalances. Remember, we do have a witching event today, meaning that we have some expirations all over the place here. Single stock futures, index futures. I mean, you have also 0 day. It's the third of the month, or third Friday of the month. So you get the S&P rebalancing coming through. And come on, AM, like as if. Like you're going to sit here, Arca, with 24,000 shares. Would I make a keystroke in how many I put up there? No, I didn't. I am on this level, and of course I'm actually part of that Arca, believe it or not, which is freaking ridiculous. Put something a little...
Oh, Apple's strong.
If that AMD was just held there by this 24,000 shares, then like we had... Look at the move down. Look at the move down and look what price we have. We're short right here, right now on AMD. You better break yourself right there. So we switched over gateways and just got to fill because everything filled except for AMD. It breaks it. It goes to 77 and stops there. We're at 74. Okay, maybe this is not the one, man. Maybe AMD is not the one. Like the market's moving down. Let me guess where Meta is. 299, something ridiculous like that? No, okay, so I don't feel so bad about this, although this is breaking right now. And if we just shorted, like we just shorted AMD, right? If we had done that on Meta, we would be 50 cents, 60 cents in the money and looking to break lower. And then right now, AMD, let's go. Get into your home. Get into your home immediately. And that would be a lot, yes, that would be a lot lower. So there we go. What's up to not Nunya Biz? Whoever was talking about that quick 25-cent scalp, I said, you do you. And there it is right now, man. It doesn't take much to get this guy going again. This is what happens when, you've got some shares on, the money's starting to come in a little bit. Here it comes. It's only 25 cents in the money. Definitely no doubt about that. Shout out to Gwen Stefani because this trade is hopefully, no doubt, a good one. So let's get back in to the downside right now as we watch out for AMD. Let's go. Crank lower. Here we go again, man. We're trying to do it again for you. Let's get some lower pushes here on AMD and on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I was asked to take a look at Apple and do it as quickly as I can. Apple right back to 175. It's at VWAP. I think it's okay, but I talked about front and back end with Intel. Intel just got to VWAP in 38. If Intel was at 58, I'd be selling shares in my personal account. But at 38, I want the short back into that name. So I'm going to try and get some of that Intel. I think 175 might not be bad on Apple, but it's like pretty strong, higher lows in there. As mentioned, this is what was happening on Intel. I said front and back end, you want to trade it as it's coming back in off a resistance level. So this is it coming back in off a resistance level. Thank you very much. Sharif just told us that it's still 1.2, no change, still 1.2 billion share sell side. That's what it came out as. But we're still looking at that same imbalance. It doesn't, over a billion, as we said, not a huge deal. Like that's not the reason to get into a short, but I think resistance levels are. Let's go to the desk and take care of the little business.
Yeah, Power Hour, guys, brought to you by IG. Trade Forex pairs like the Euro, US dollar with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Professional.
I'm getting frustrated here. All right, let's just get this to the downside. We only have 9 minutes, so we'll have to wait to see. Hopefully we can get more of a flush down here. We're still watching ARM. We might just get out of ARM right now. I mean, we're still $3 in the money. It is the #1 stock here for me today. You could see we're actually positive on many names. It's fine. It's just we want this to bleed lower right now. And we are red on the day, and part of that, and it's not huge. Like I said, it's a fraction of what we were up yesterday. But a lot of it is just that last Tesla trade, which turned out to be right, but who cares? Crying over spilt milk over and over again doesn't make any sense. Like we just talked about talking to yourself. Like I'm just saying it out loud here live on the show. All right, so what about just a 61.50 on a flush? Like, are we not going to be happy with 350 on this trade if it does come in? I think we probably should be. So let's get that in there. 61.50. Let's just put an ARM bid. If it comes in, it comes in. If not, then we'll trade it out of it at the end of the day. We don't know where these imbalances are going to come. There is a big triple. We just already talked about it. I'm not going to go over it. But when 350 hits, all of these numbers become public, and they will change at 350. And we will also get the NASDAQ involved at 350. So that's giving me some hope here that we could get a nice downside move in the market again, because we're down today. So if the NASDAQ wants to give it to us, maybe it can give us a flush here into the close. And then when that happens, like we're positive.
X give it to us.
Yeah, X is going to give it to us as well. We're green on AMD today, so that's been a really good trade, obviously, as we sit here and talk a little bit about that. So, that's been a good trade for us. We're just going to have to wait. We just have to wait for these names to fill out. So as long as they do, we'll be fine. But this could also rip. So we do have our targets out right now. I feel like that now we don't need to wait for 20s, because if this market changes, we can get out right here at 102.10. So I'm going to change my out right now and change any of my, I don't have any more offers. So actually, I have an offer at 102.14. That didn't come in. We missed that by 4 cents. So hopefully that'll hit, and then we'll be able to sing a different tune in about 7 minutes. And hopefully it's downside.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for as well. You've had a little bounce, but you just got to 15.4 in the NASDAQ. You didn't get past it. So grab that Intel trade. This is what my 3-minute chart looks like on Intel. It's ridiculous. Like I'm not getting any data, so it skews obviously like VWAP. It makes no sense on it. So this is a bit of a pullback. This is what it looks like for real on the 3-minute. So it's making that curl We've got the 95, well 94, so underneath that 95. It breaks VWAP, you can just get out. If we roll over, I like it. I was just looking at that early look. One of the names on here, anyways, that just changed. So like, yeah, now even like more ridiculous numbers, like Virgin Galactic, 7 million early look to buy, Virgin Galactic. CNHI, that's supposed to be an upweight today. That's up for 5 billion. PCG of go bankrupt and then come back fame is at 13 million with 43 million paired, but that's a really cheap stock. So they're going to be ridiculous numbers at 345. Just want to make sure we're bracing everybody for that. It's not necessarily going to matter, but it should be a wild one. I don't think I put anything new on. Oh, I wanted to go back to Apple if I could for a quick second here. There you go. Apple did dip off 175. So, I go back to the well with Intel off the 38 level. Apple 175, say no. Apple rolls over. So that's how it be sometimes. Nunya, thank you for the super chat. Been trading for 30 plus years. Never as successful in the past year since I've been watching the show. Thanks, you guys rock. You rock. I'm just happy there's someone who's been trading longer than us because we've been around for a while. And if you've been trading that long, then congratulations to you because trading's hard enough. But I'm glad you found a community because trading's hard enough by yourself. You talk to yourself all day. It's nice to be able to run ideas past each other and past everybody and be able to sort of navigate these things with the crew. It's fantastic. Shout out to you, Nunya. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We don't ask for the super chats, but we appreciate it when we get them. The only thing we ever ask for is...
Like, subscribe, and share the show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
That's all we ask. Simple. Just spread the community out there. Yeah, Spinomaster,
spread it.
40 years. Been trading over 40 years.
Congratulations!
I think you win that one. Nicole Harris, I swear Neil Roberts was born in the 80s. Ha ha ha. You're wrong about that one. Wrong. Not by much, but you're wrong. Who hit that? Who did that?
Those guys.
Oh, yeah, of course he did.
We all have one of those. There it is right now, guys. Look, whatever. We'll go diamond hands. I mean, ARM is significantly my best stock, and it's not even close. It was the #1 stock yesterday. We absolutely destroyed this thing yesterday. I mean, look what we just did right there. We just took 350 on it. So don't mistake my complacency right now for not being happy. I mean, we are. This has been a fantastic week. Everything is groovy right now. Just running into a wall a little bit. I mean, at the end of the week, that's all. And then getting a little frustrated, obviously, that we missed. Like we called that reload on ARM and we missed it. Like it would only be 250 right there on the reload. And like I said, we're not trying to trade around, small little
Disney
shares or anything. Probably Disney's probably ripping again or something. We had an 85 call on Disney, whatever. Look at this AMD right now. We actually got, why I went over to this, we got that 54 print right there. We talked about sitting there, so there it is right there. So this is what I mean. Like, we're getting out. All these trades are working for us. It's completely fine. So other than that, everything is really good here and nothing really to complain about. So let's just keep on going over and over and over again in this name. But now we only have 2 minutes until the imbalances come out. So we're pretty excited for them. But this is going to sort of be the way right now here. So we're going to have to wait to see if we do get a bump up in AMD. It's the only position I have. So we'll trigger it at this 102. If we break through 102, 102.10 or something, my price is 06s. So this is now at 06. So we've just adjusted it. If it takes a 200 period, we'll get out. But I wouldn't be surprised if it, with my luck here in this after show, this could rip up to there, fill me, and then tank down. So get ready to go short. But like I said, I have too much risk on right now for that. So we are going to get out if we're wrong, and hopefully we're right, and the move goes back into the 50s. And if it does that, that's great. Let's just see if we can get an out. That's all.
Yeah, this is a time where when these imbalances hit, you have a stop, like you have an out locked and loaded and ready to go, because you can see if an imbalance comes out on a day like today in the other direction, it's likely to spike the stock. So you want to have a stop. I don't mind getting wicked out in that situation because it could just start running. Like, what if Intel is like 20 million shares to buy? Like, I don't think it will be, but it's certainly not impossible. We have 1 minute to go. The early look is showing you everything in the millions, but most of that's not big tech. So it's like a bunch of, Pfizer's there, Virgin Galactic's there, CNHI is pretty big, but Neo's there, like everything. I just don't see any of the actual Magnificent Seven, which I would, that's APLE, never mind. I don't see any of like the Magnificent Seven above 2 million. But they'll be there. They'll be there somewhere.
No, it's because there's NASDAQ, dude.
Oh, yeah, because it's all, they're all NASDAQ. New York, the early look on the New York, it's very deceiving. It's more deceiving now than it used to be. That's for sure. Because back in the day, it used to be a heck of a lot more importance on the New York Stock Exchange. But now the NASDAQ's winning. That's where they're getting all the listings. A big win for them, obviously, with ARM, and then another big win with them to be able to get Instacart next week, which we haven't really talked about. Instacart should be fire. We'll get that on Tuesday.
Yeah, no
We're expecting
reason for it
Instacart.
not to be. I mean, ARM right now, we've just made more, you know, in like the last 2 days. Like it could be like our month just on ARM. So we'll see if we could do that on Instacart. Wow, we just got nicely filled up. There is the win, man. Sometimes you get lucky.
Hola.
Sometimes
What?
you get lucky. We don't want to do that right now. Look at that fill on AMD. Holy shit. It obviously is a sell there as we all just cranked lower. Look, again, we could maybe sort this by, I don't even have the value
These are
up there. I should
ridiculous.
probably do it. There's, I don't know what, how much? So it's nothing. 67 million to sell?
Huh?
Million, yeah. So nothing. So there's nothing
Really?
on the imbalance then. So there it is. We got out on the way down. There it is on the way back up. So yeah, good thing we covered the majority of those fills at the bottom. We talked about making sure that you have orders out. Like AMD, just look, we have multiple fills down here at 101.30 down there for AMD. So this turned out to be good. What a good closing after all for us right now, as that turns out to be a little bit of pay dirt there to end the day for us on AMD. So good. Nicola with a little bit of a buy. There's the shoot up on that one. I don't know if there's anything else of interest, but that's what I see. I don't know if you saw anything.
Not really. I'm not, like, I didn't see, like, there's lots of things with millions. There's nothing that's really standing out as ridiculous. I saw a decent sized buy on Pinduoduo, and that's only interesting because of that $100 level on PDD. Like, if you've been watching this stock, you got to be real fast. So the thing about this, and this is actually a setup that I really like, but if you're not actually looking at Pinduoduo, like I didn't expect Pinduoduo to be a buy, but if you did, we talked about this 100 level, it's at $99 exactly, comes out of 3 million buy, shoots up, stops at exactly $100 and pulls back. So that cheeky trade is that you're kind of anticipating, it's on your radar for some reason. This was not on the radar, so get that out of the way. But if it was, then you kind of sit there $99.95 with 100 stop, it shoots up. If it does, you get in, you get out, you scalp 20 or 30 cents. That's something you can look for if you're anticipating that a stock which is in play might have an imbalance. I had no reason to look at PDD, but it is a buy imbalance. Maybe it breaks 100. I don't really see much else. I don't know what you see on the locator here that you like. I mean, Mullen's 10 million, but it's done 130 million shares, so that's not going to move the needle on Mullen. Now, if Mullen was a sell imbalance of a bunch, I think it would be like a safer play, but it got a little spike. It went a couple of cents. I'd expect that to pair off. You know, pairing off 10 million shares of a 60-cent stock, that's really not going to take much to do that. So if it takes not a lot of money to pair it, anticipate that it's going to get paired. CNHI was supposed to be a buy, CNH Industrial. That's dual listed, isn't it? Shouldn't this like an ADR?
I don't know about CNHI. Sounds like a Chinese name to me. So it could be a dual list for sure. We're just getting some more out of AMD here. I mean, again, you know, it's 50 cents in the money. A little bit of luck finally on that one. I mean, it could have came out a buy, but the whole market, I feel like, you know, did make that move down when the NASDAQ imbalances did come out there. So we'll have another quick look at it. It's an index day, right? So we knew that this was going to happen. Neil's going to look up CNHI, but other than that.
It is, yeah, it's a... I mean, it's dual listed. Its primary listing is in Britain, I think it looks like.
Britain, okay. But there's BlackBerry, obviously, to do anything, and it has a big imbalance as well. What else is here that might be of interest? I mean, where's NIO? So we'll just see. I'm just trying to find some names that maybe you guys are on. Okay, so it was a buy, and that shot up quite nice. I mean, only 10 cents, but still quite nice on the buy for that one. Oh, I got to get rid of these BKRs. That's the difference there. Hold on, let's get rid of this, and then we can see it a little bit cleaner. We don't need all that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. Okay, so eBet, Mullen, Space is there as well. Of course, that's Virgin Galactic. I was surprised at where this stock was. We talked about that before as well. That's not Apple, APLE. Like, I don't know what that's doing there. Pfizer. What is that? What is that APLE? Where are you? Where are you? There. Whoops, oops. That's SCLX. There's APLE. What is this stock? I don't even know. What is APLE? I'm just going to check out for myself because I've never even Apple Hospitality, good one, right there. Okay, so Apple Hospitality. Wow, if you've owned this one, you've been pretty good. Probably a little bit of a there. Coke as well. This is Uncle Warren coming in here and buying up some more Coke. At the end of the day, just a small 4 million share buy to hit that name. Other than that, man, we just continue to watch the money pour in a little bit now as AMD breaking back down lower here. So we'll put a bid at 40. Whoops.
I was asked to look at Vale
49 right there.
I didn't.
Yeah, go look at anything, man. We have 5 minutes till these all reverse anyways.
I mean, a lot of times Vale will have big imbalances. That's like it's a Brazilian company. I didn't see this on the balance locator, so I know it's down. Like it's down. I don't know what's interesting. Maybe it's breaking out. I'm not sure what the trade is here. If there was a big imbalance on Vale, I would say its primary listing is in Brazil, and it usually pairs off. And you always want to make sure if you're trading this on an imbalance, if you don't have access to see what it's doing in Brazil, then it's a problem because sometimes this will be like a 3 million sell in New York and it's like a 3 million buy in Brazil. I've seen that before, but I don't see it on the locator. Well, at least I didn't see it, but maybe it is there, and it's not really doing much today. It's literally flat on the day. It gets Vale 3 on in Brazil, and of course I typed in Blue Ocean because obviously I should just not even have that one. Vale 3. Over there. So again, I'm not sure the reason why I was asked to look at it. I assumed it was because of an imbalance. I don't see it. Now this is it in Brazil, doing pretty much exactly the same as the other chart, if it'll ever load up. So it made a bit of a move. Actually, it made a move in Brazil just now when the imbalances came out.
Nice.
But it did nothing in New York. So maybe it is an imbalance on the Brazilian market. We only look at the imbalances on New York and NASDAQ because that's what you guys care about. Like we could probably check Brazil, but it's not that big of a deal.
Like, look at this arm again, guys. Like, this is going to be, oh, I have to set up the closing show. Oh, my God, we didn't even do that. Okay, we'll talk about, we have Michael Noss coming on the closing show as well.
Nice.
Talk about, like, just
TLO.
basically doing everything. ARM IPO day 2. We'll be talking about that. I'll save it. Okay.
eBet's making a move.
And then we could talk about some of the rebalances here at the end of the day on the closing show. So join me with Michael Noss. But look at ARM. Boom. Nicely done to the downside, man. 65. We just respect the VWAP. And it's a nice move down in here with only a few minutes left. Thank you once again for joining us. It's been a great show. And we'll just continue with this move, man. A nice move in the downside today for the NASDAQ. Giving back a lot. I don't know if we turned red for the month. Me and Sharif were talking about that, but September has actually been pretty good so far for the first half, considering that everyone thought this was going to be a doom or gloom type of situation this month. It doesn't appear to be that. So still half a month to go. It's only the 15th.
Don't jinx it.
Let's not jinx it too hard. Just on my AMD trade, it's been a good one. We're 50 cents in the money. We are green today on AMD. We're green on Amazon. We're green on ARM. We're green on Disney. We're red on Tesla, red on JP Morgan. So there it is. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. But the thing is like I just said, man, we're green on 4 names, red on 2 names. So it's been a good day for us. However, with Tesla closing above 274, this could have been a hell of a day, but we did get that stop out right there, which sucks. But there it goes. At least we're the right way, wrong price on that. And that's day trader's dilemma. It always seems to be the case.
Caleb asked me to check on Sidhu. I don't know why. Sidhu is a microscopic 76,000 buy imbalance on a penny stock.
I got
so
rid of AMD.
that is literally, it's on 1.8 million shares. The imbalance is like 76,000. So it literally just doesn't have one. But hey, I don't mind checking. I'm not in any positions here. I don't have to worry about any of that. If you're ever curious, like, hey, what's the imbalance on this? We'll do our best when we can. 2 minutes to go. It's Friday, as Sean said. I mean, the market, while being down today, it's been a decent September. We got Instacart next week. That is going to be fire. Like, if ARM was good, Instacart, I got to figure is going to be at least, it doesn't have to be as good as ARM, but certainly I would expect the price action to be absolute fire. It's going to be half the price. So that just means, you temper your expectations in terms of the dollar move, but the percentages can be the same. Maybe it's not 25% on the first day because that's insane, but hey, if it goes 10%, I'm sure we can make something off of that. And it should be on Tuesday. We'll be excited for that. Apple broke up at 175. Congratulations, Apple. Big strong moves there. Again, not really big imbalances on the big tech names. So I would say that's it's a minor surprise. I was expecting some of those names to be there. They ended up being a nothing burger, which is fine. You don't have to try to put trades on that aren't there. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't try to put trades on that aren't there. Don't assume because it's witching, you're going to get huge imbalances and it's going to be massive opportunities. Sometimes there's not much there, and you want to make sure that you only take advantage of the things that are out there and are good. I'm pretty sure Katrine's going to be on the bell. She just said yes. She's excited. She's happy. There's the confirmation. It's a little early. We got 30 seconds to go. You're not going anywhere after the bell, though, because you're going to be up at the desk with Sean and Mr. Nos Boss. I hope all is well, because they're getting a bit of a storm out in Halifax. My brother's preparing for the storm himself. He lives in Halifax as well, so hopefully everything is good there. Usually it weakens by the time it gets up the East Coast, but I wish him all the best. Get the camera off me and put it on Katrine, because it's countdown time. Oh, Ramin as well wants to ring the bell. Thank you for the ice cream this morning, Ramin. It was amazing. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and... They love that, like the single ring there.
I missed it. Oh, well.
No, it's like they both just kind of did like one little ring together. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll take it. It's a lot of fun. It's been a great show. It's been a great week. IPOs are back. We get more next week. It's not just these two. There's a couple of smaller ones that are coming in the next month or so. And heck, maybe we even get Reddit eventually. Well, because Reddit put it off for 2.5 years now. So now that everyone else is successful, maybe we'll get that one down the line. I'm definitely excited for that. I'm going to give you a second to get up to the desk, obviously. But like I said, it's been a fun one. Thank you guys so much for all love in the chat. And I mean, for everyone out there, it's like, I've been trading 30 years, 40 years. You love the show. We've been trading 20, and you always see something new. Like, that's the best thing in the markets.
Right.
Like, I feel like we traded ARM yesterday, and it was even ARM was able to surprise us in the market with that move in the afternoon. I think that was an absolute great one. I wish everyone, obviously, a good weekend. Darwin, no, we do not have an OnlyFans. I don't even know why you'd ask that. But for the entire team here, I just want to say a big shout out and thank you. Everyone be safe this weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Big shout out to Max and Obi on the midday. Throughout the week, we actually had Adam a little bit on the midday, so shout out to him for filling in. Obviously, Fabian and Ramin doing a great job on the 1s and 2s. And hey, let's acknowledge the great job that Sharif has done filling in for Brendan all week. Some big shoes to fill for Brendan. He does a great job doing so. So thank you, Sharif. You'll be back on the midday next week, so you got to go back into the saddle. But enough of me. Let's get into the real show you want to see after 4 o'clock. It's your market recap. Let's go to the desk.
We're just going to give Sean a minute to set up here. Anil, we'll have a look at how the markets are doing. But before I do, it's been fantastic filling in for Brendo. Brendo will be back on Monday. It is a hard job. He gets here real early to get a lot done, but I had a blast doing it. All right, let's see how the NQ did today. I kind of alluded to this earlier on the afternoon rundown. It's been a 300-point plus day. To the south side, we had a 15.719 top, guys. We got all the way to 15.356 as a low, trying to break above 15.4 at the moment here on the NQ December contract. By the way, the September contract, as of today, expired. With respect to the ES, we're really trying to battle there at the end to stay above 4,500. For all intents and purposes, we are holding the level. But we still are down 1.25% today on the ES. Oil strong again, 1% high now, closing well above that $90 level. For West Texas Intermediate for the October 23 contract, 91.13 is where we closed out. And this probably comes to the surprise of nobody. The 10-year up 1%, the 2-year up 0.58. They continue to head higher as markets head down. Let's see how we did on some of the names we were talking about today. ARM down 3 2/3%. It closed out yesterday at that 63 2/3 level. We are still continuing to head down here, breaking down below $61. You saw Sean in this one for the majority of the day, taking a short, great trade there. TSM on that bad news headline as well, 2.5%, and it brought down the rest of the microchip names. TSM coming out overnight and telling their suppliers to hold off sending any equipment because the demand is just not there for chips. That probably comes as very worrying to anybody invested in these chip names. Speaking of chip names, NVIDIA red day again, 3.82%, closing well below that 440 spot. 438.5 is where we closed out at. Much the same with Micron, 2.84, closing below that $70 level. AMD, another bad day for AMD, almost 5% south, but still north of that $100 level, 101.42, where we close out at. Intel, not as bad. Intel's been doing a lot better lately, 37.88, closing below that 38 level. And like we talked about on the rundown, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, take your pick. Big tech was tanking today. And look, we had a headline with Meta overnight with respect to its monetization of WhatsApp. They come out and deny that. 312 exactly was the high a day, and we barely held on to 300. We dipped in fact, below 299, got to 298.75, but we're able to close above that 300 level. Critical resistance level for Meta. Microsoft as well, 2.5 points to the downside, but able to close above that 330 level. Much in the same with Amazon. There was an epic fight here at that 140 level, closing at 140.33 for Amazon, pardon me. Tesla faring the best. It and Apple down only 0.2% on the day. Tesla's been very strong lately. If we look at the hourly chart here, good recovery for this name, Elon Musk and company. It's been a decent look. We were talking about that 220 level not that long ago, and now we're talking about that 279 almost high a day today. The Katina man is ready. The Katina man is ready to go. He's going to take you into the market recap show.
All right, welcome everybody to the market recap show. And we are locked and loaded. We just forgot to get a water, so I think either Kat or